has had a very good season. We'll talk to Jeff about all things Memphis athletics. Zoe Goodson at 9:05. He's the Rhodes basketball coach. It's our weekly Rhodes segment, and Rhodes did get their first win on Sunday. We'll talk to Zoe about that at 9:25. Blake Topmeyer, SEC columnist for USA Today Network on the SEC and on all things college football. Of course, tonight the college football playoff rankings will come out. We'll see if there's any changes. We got a huge week. It's a rivalry week. Last week of the regular season before next week's championship games. We'll also talk plenty of college basketball. Memphis gets set to begin the battle for Atlantis tomorrow against Michigan. We'll talk some NFL after a good one last night in Kansas City between the Eagles and the Chiefs. Got some Major League Baseball news as well. And speaking of the Memphis Tigers, they do not get into the top 25 poll. We'll discuss that on the program. Humdinger's Trivia comes your way at about 8:05. We'll also give you the topic for tomorrow's 5 favorite things. That's your lineup. You can always hit us up on the Sports 56 listener lines at 901-360-8255. Call in, text in, and also you can send us a message with a comment, a question, a concern to Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, or to our website, sportsmemphis.com. Good morning.
Good morning. What is the temperature that crosses from pretty cold to darn cold?
Darn cold, I would say, is in the 30s. That's when you're like, see, here's my predicament. As you know, I'll be on the sidelines on Friday in Philadelphia. The temperature is supposed to be in the 40s somewhere. That's one of those deals where I need a heavier jacket, but I don't need the real heavy jacket. And I got one that has the lining in it. Do I bring the lining? Also, there's a 15% chance of rain, so it's not a high chance of rain, but do I got to bring rain gear when there's at least a chance at 15%? It's one of those kind of in the middle type things. I mean, it's either going to be downright cold in the 30s or, it's 40s, 50s to me is not bad. Like, for example, not with the rain and the mist and the wetness, but if it was dry out, I'd have no problem playing golf in this weather. What did I say the temperature was right now? 56 degrees. Perfect. I'm good at 48 degrees. But you get into the 30s, forget about it.
56 degrees without a cloud in the sky, bright sunshine, I can play golf.
Wow, you can do it?
Any lower than that, I'm not playing. I don't want to play that, but I will.
I thought you cut it off at 70.
60 is kind of my mark.
But again,
I have to have
56?
sunshine. I need to have sunshine. I'm not. If 60 and cloudy, I'm not doing nothing.
Oh, I'm with you.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you got to have sun. I guess it also depends on how well you're playing. You're on a nice little roll. You want to keep playing, but if it's sunny, I think that overcomes everything.
You'll be in Philadelphia later this week. I will be in Philadelphia later today.
And you can get cheesesteaks.
And I'll be there tomorrow. Okay, so I've never been to Philadelphia. So what cheesesteak should I eat? Because I love Philly cheesesteaks. So where am I supposed to go?
Well, wow, you've never been to Philadelphia. It's a really cool city. I don't know how much time you'll have.
Very little.
For yourself. Yeah, it's same with me. Of course, I go in on Thanksgiving, so there's nothing open. Now, I've said it a million times before. I'll say it again. The best cheesesteaks are in South Jersey. There's 2 reasons. One is they use provolone cheese, not the cheese whiz. Although there are places in Philadelphia you can get the provolone cheese. But most importantly is the bread. The bread that they make on the shore is used with the salt water of the ocean. They don't use that in Philadelphia. So the bread is never as good. But the meat is really good. It's still going to be a good cheesesteak. So as a first-timer, I know it's the old, what do you call it, the tourist trap. But you need to go in the South Philadelphia, which is, where are you staying, by the way?
I don't know. I'd have to look at the itinerary. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly. I don't know where Temple is in Philadelphia. So
Temple's in North Philadelphia, not the best part of the city.
Okay, so I don't know if we're staying close to Temple or not.
I guarantee you not. You're probably staying in Center City, which is where we're staying. That's perfect. So if you go a little bit to the south, it's obvious that's South Philly. South Philly's the big Italian section. That's where you'll have Pat's and Geno's and other cheesesteaks. There's a million cheesesteak places. You could always Google and see which one's the hottest. There's probably some new ones that I have not been to because I haven't been there in years. But I think because you're there for the first time, you got to go to the corner where there's Pat's and there's Geno's. They battle each other out. It's a good cheesesteak.
Which one's better?
They're both basically the same. But I don't know if they've added maybe the option for provolone cheese. If you have the option, get the provolone cheese. You might want to get one with provolone and one, and you probably could eat two of them. You're a big boy. And one with cheese whiz, just to say you've done that. I don't mean it in a bad way.
That is a kind way of calling somebody fat.
No, you're not.
You can eat two of those. You're big.
No, you're not. You're a man. You're a man.
You could eat a lot. Go ahead and get two of them.
Zach,
might as well
Zach can eat 2 cheesesteaks. He's not big. But he doesn't eat meat.
Cheesesteak at all.
Right. That's right.
Zach's he's going to get it like if they got the Impossible cheesesteak.
Yeah, that's right.
Made out of veggies somehow.
You're out of the equation. I forgot about that. I forget sometimes.
I appreciate you. It's all paid for.
No. You're not fat by any stretch of the imagination.
So if you were there and you go to that corner, which one are you going to?
I'm probably going to Gino's.
Okay, so Gino's is better.
And I'm assuming everything's still open. Again, I haven't been there in years. Well, I was there with the team 2 years ago, but we didn't go to South Philly for the cheesesteaks. And the last time I was in Philadelphia with my family, we actually went further down into South Philadelphia and went to a different cheesesteak place. I tried it, and it was not good. It wasn't good at all. Do you like pork?
Well, somebody texted and says you need to get a roast pork.
That's it, yeah. So it's called Denix. Is it Denix? I think it's Denix. It is in the Reading Terminal. The Reading Terminal is right there in Center City. So that is they've named it one of the best sandwiches in the entire country. So if you like roasted pork, the texture is absolutely right. But you're in Philly, you got to get a cheesesteak. You know, Eli, you're a big boy. You can eat the cheesesteak from Gino's, from Pat's, and you can get a roasted pork sandwich.
I mean, I'm literally... I'm going there with Ole Miss basketball to do their game against Temple, and it's an afternoon game tomorrow. So, like, literally, I'm going to eat 2 meals in Philadelphia tonight. And actually, there's a team meal tonight. So before we even get to the hotel. So I might literally be eating 1 meal. I might be eating lunch tomorrow, and be early lunch. Well, I guess the game is at 3:30 Eastern time. So
11:30 lunch.
It's a little bit later.
Yeah. And when you're rolling over there, when's the bus rolling over?
I don't have this.
You don't have the itinerary?
I do, but I don't want to look it up.
Okay.
I just got to get to the airport today. I'm trying to get to Tupelo Airport today. It's one step at a time.
You know where that is? It's in Tupelo.
No, but I thank God we got GPS.
Funny enough, Gino's do serve vegetarian cheesesteaks.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, funny enough, there's a Gino's in the Tupelo Airport.
That might be.
All right.
All for Zach. They just started the vegetarian cheesesteak without the steak.
Our buddy Fish, Rob Fisher. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a traveler. He's a traveling man with the Grizzlies. He says Denix is a great sandwich, but if you get one, get cheesesteak.
Yeah, I agree.
And then he also says, what the heck is Ishkabibbles?
I've heard of that.
Was Zebo's favorite cheesesteak, and thus it is his.
I've never had one, though.
Ishkabibbles? I love the name. Ishkabibbles.
Yeah, it doesn't really rock like the normal Gino's or Pat's.
But I much prefer the name Ishkabibbles. Where'd you get that? Ishkabibbles.
But see, Fish wouldn't even know it either. As many times as he's been to Philadelphia, I'm sure he's never ventured down to Atlantic City, which is less than an hour away. And I'm not lying when I say this. And that's why I'm so disappointed. I was going to bring the entire broadcast crew down to where I live if we had time. We are flying in literally, we're going to arrive at 5:30 on Thanksgiving Day. And the team is actually eating their Thanksgiving dinner at 10:40 a.m. on Thursday before they fly out, which is smart when you think about it. Maybe not that early, but it's smart when you think about it. You don't want to eat Thursday night, the normal Thanksgiving night, and have turkey and all that stuff.
That's perfect to eat a Thanksgiving meal before you fly because that puts you to sleep on the flight.
That's what Ryan Silverfield's at.
I wish I could eat a Thanksgiving meal before the flight.
But you don't want to have it at night when you're getting ready to play a football game at 12 o'clock Eastern time, 11 o'clock Central the next day, and you're hungover. You got tryptophan in your system from the turkey and all that, and you're falling asleep. So they're going to eat early. So that kind of took us out of the game here. So I started looking up places in Philly, and actually Jeff Crane, who will be on with us, invited us to Thanksgiving dinner at the hotel. They're going to have a big Thanksgiving dinner. So we'll do that. And then we fly out right after the game. So in the morning, really not much you can do. It's a 12 o'clock kickoff. And Thursday, there's nothing else open. It's not like, oh, let's go down to Atlantic City. Now you can go to the casinos, but it's a short little trip, but there's not enough time. And I'm sure the cheesesteak places, the White House, Sacco Subs, all those places are closed. Nobody's having their employees work on Thanksgiving when nobody's buying cheesesteaks. They're buying some kind of turkey dinner. So that took us out. It took us out of the mix. So I'm still waiting to see one time when we go to Philadelphia to bring the crew down to South Jersey. And Fish should do that as well. Man, he should take the crew.
How do you know he hasn't?
I'm guessing he has not. Because he would rave about the cheesesteaks from South Jersey. Again, there's nothing that beats the bread that they use. I can't explain it, the Italian bread. The bakeries are like right across the street from the cheesesteak places. They bring it in. It's hot piping these big Italian rolls, and then it's not those soft rolls. Hard Italian bread made with the salt water of the Atlantic Ocean. It is fabulous.
Another thing says they don't like Pat's or Geno's because they don't like the Cheese Whiz.
Yes. And
which I don't. I would much rather have. I've never had one with Cheese Whiz, but provolone certainly is better than Cheese Whiz.
So here's the deal. Do yourself a favor and look up cheesesteak places.
I wonder, Fish, does Ishkabibbles go provolone? I just love saying Ishkabibbles.
You know what's funny? I started looking up Philly cheesesteaks, right? But I didn't put in Philly cheesesteaks in Philly. So they start giving me Memphis Philly cheesesteaks. So all of a sudden I'm seeing Lenny's, American Deli. I'm like, wait, that's not Philadelphia. Oh, it's Memphis. Okay. Philly cheesesteaks in Philly that use the provolone. Again, Pat's and Geno's, I don't know if they've added that, if you can get the provolone. But again, it's your first time. Tourists are always going to get the Cheese Whiz for the first time. I remember the first time I went to Pat's.
I don't have anything against Cheese Whiz. As a kid, I used to eat Cheese Whiz.
But provolone's the better. It's
I much
better.
prefer provolone. I don't know. I guess I should say I prefer because I've never had Cheese Whiz on my Philly cheesesteak. Maybe I'll love Cheese Whiz on there. I have no idea.
So in South Jersey, you get a cheesesteak, you get lettuce, tomato, fried onions, a little bit of oil. Sometimes if you like the hot peppers, you get that on there. Cheesesteak is delicious. I go to Philadelphia. First time I went to Philadelphia, maybe not the first time, but when I went, the first time I got a cheesesteak in Philly as a young person, I remember going up there and saying, I was a teenager, and saying, can I get, let me get a cheesesteak, and can I get some lettuce and tomato on it? And the guy looked at me like I was crazy, like I was from a foreign country. There was no lettuce and tomato. They put grilled onions on there.
Yeah, no lettuce and tomato on Philly cheesesteak.
Yes. I'm telling you.
What are you ruining it for?
No, I'm not ruining it. So
Philly
anyway,
cheesesteak is the steak and grilled onions,
I know what it
maybe
is.
some peppers.
Don't talk to me about cheesesteak.
Don't we get no lettuce and tomato on
I'm
that?
not talking
If you're
to
putting
you.
lettuce and tomato on it, you don't know what it is.
I'm not talking to you about deep dish pizza or hot dogs or what's the Italian beef. I'm not talking to you about that because that's up your alley. Don't talk to me about cheesesteaks. D'Alessandro's is another place, but that's going to be outside of your area. You're not going to want to get in an Uber, start riding around Philadelphia. It's not like it's some little town. But you may find, here it is, Ishkabibbles. Ishkabibbles got 4.5 stars, by the way. South Street, that's right in South Philadelphia. That's where you want to go. Here's a picture of Geno's. They're like they almost like face each other. So anyway, enjoy yourself. You're going to have fun. First trip to Philadelphia will be rather cold, but not incredibly cold.
Actually, tomorrow's supposed to be like 61 is the high. So.
Oh, wow. I get 40s on Friday on the
It's supposed to be cold
sidelines.
today, but I think from what I saw, it's going to be a little bit warmer.
Very cool. NFL, speaking of the Eagles, last night they go into Kansas City. I had picked them to win. I think you took KC. It did not look like it was going to go the Eagles' way. And then they figured it out. They beat the Chiefs 21-17 to improve to 9-1. The Chiefs fall to 7-3. Chiefs had their chances. They had the great drive in which Travis Kelce fumbled, and then Pat Mahomes throwing a seed to Marquez Valdez-Scantling, who dropped it. Kansas City should have won that football game. They didn't. The Eagles did. You saw a few of those tush pushes, or what do they call it now? The Philly, what is it?
Brotherly shove.
Brotherly shove. And they do that to perfection. Nobody does it better, and they get the win.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs, you have an interception in the end zone, a fumble at the 10, and then drop the game-winning touchdown pass. Like, you can't give away a game any more than what the Chiefs did in that one. And it's just, all year long, I've talked about there, like, there's just, I don't know, something about the Chiefs offense that just doesn't, it's not clicking the way it
They're not running the
used
ball
to.
that successfully.
And in the second halves, it is an absolute train wreck.
Right. Right.
They are the lowest scoring team in the second halves.
In the NFL?
Yes, they have 53 second half
Holy
points.
smokes, did not know that.
You know how many touchdowns they have scored in fourth quarters?
In fourth quarters? It's got to be really low. 3?
1.
Oh, my gosh.
They scored 1 fourth quarter touchdown all season.
That's crazy.
It's like, this is Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce company. 1 fourth quarter touchdown.
Wow.
All year. And they're the lowest scoring second half team in the NFL. 53 total second half points on the season. It's just, I don't know. It's, they obviously, when they let Tyreek Hill go, they were still just fine last year. But now they just cannot, they just can't get another receiver to step up and become the guy. And, Valdez-Scantling has had drop issues, and obviously that reared its ugly head last night.
Tony has dropped a bunch. How about Kelsey now dropping some passes?
Yeah, he
Does he miss Taylor?
He had to drop on the third down play, but came right back and caught one on the fourth down on that final drive. But it's then on the 4th and 25, like that ball's right in the hands. And now he got hit, and he probably got hit a tad bit early, so it's a little bit of a jolt as you're trying to catch it. But I still can't even believe that the Eagles let a guy like that ball on a 4th and 25 to get right to a guy's hands with nobody in front of him. Like, I was like, holy cow, that's amazing that they were able to do that. But yeah, I don't know. The Chiefs are still really good, but there's just something, it feels like a miss. Now, you could say Eric Bieniemy's gone. Maybe Eric Bieniemy had a little bit more effect on the offense than people thought Eric Bieniemy did.
Yeah, but the Steelers suck.
What's that have to do with Eric Bieniemy?
Isn't he with the Steelers?
He's with the Commanders.
Well, the Commanders suck.
Well, he's dealing with Sam Howell at quarterback.
It's fair for
Jesus himself couldn't.
It's fair for you to say that, but Andy Reid pretty much called the plays even when Bieniemy was there. So I don't know what's
okay. But again, I'm just what is the big difference this year of their offense? The offensive coordinator is gone.
Yeah, but they're not running the ball successfully.
Okay. What is the difference this year between the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year? Their offense was still really good. Tyreek Hill was already gone.
Right.
Now this year, again, lowest scoring team in the second half in all of the NFL, 1 fourth quarter touchdown. What big change was made in the offseason? The offensive coordinator left.
Unless there's, and I don't know this, unless there has been some changes with the offensive line. If there's guys out or guys that weren't there, that were there last year that aren't there this year. I don't know. I don't know enough about their offensive line. It's a fair point you bring up with Bieniemy. It's a fair point. I know it's not Mahomes. He's still throwing seeds out there on the run. Like you said, that pass on a 4th and 25 was there. I mean, sure, it was a tough catch because there were defenders on Watson, but it was a seed. He threw a perfect bomb to Valdez-Scantling. That's not the issue. But that blows my mind. 1 fourth quarter touchdown. They're still really good, but there are some issues. They've proven to be beatable. Obviously, Philadelphia to go in there, that's 3 losses now for the Chiefs. Meanwhile, the Eagles just find ways. It's not pretty. They just find ways with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a winner. Mahomes is a winner as well. Jalen Hurts is a winner. They're both winners.
I mean, for the Eagles to go into Kansas City and get a win with A.J. Brown getting 1 catch for 8 yards, pretty incredible.
Right, but they went to Smith. I mean, Smith was the big receiver.
And the Chiefs have, the Chiefs are, and I'm not sure exactly what it is they do, but they have ability to take A.J. Brown out of games. And now, again, Devontae Smith and the deep ball that he caught was a huge play in that game. But they've kind of got some sort of recipe against A.J. Brown, the Chiefs do.
Yeah. That's part of the game plan. Take him out, see what happens. But Devontae Smith was fantastic. Again, Jalen, I know he hasn't won a Super Bowl. They lost. But I just think that guy, there's something about him that's special. But Mahomes is the best. He's the best in the business. And for them to have an anemic offense in the second half, especially the fourth quarter, is beyond me. Your point is fair. Your point is fair about Bieniemy. One other thing from the NFL, and I do want to get to another topic in the NFL a little bit later on in the hour, but Kareem Jackson, we were talking about him yesterday, comes back from a suspension, then he drills Josh Dobbs, The NFL yesterday levies a 4-game suspension, another suspension on a guy who certainly is considered one of the dirtiest players in the league. What is still amazing is there was no penalty called on the play. No penalty called on the play results in a 4-game suspension.
Yeah.
Do you reprimand the officials when they have their closed-door meetings or whatever they do?
I would assume.
I mean,
yes.
come on.
I mean, that's, again, it was, as I said yesterday, it was a textbook leading with the crown of the helmet. I mean,
how do you miss that?
Completely lowers his helmet and puts it right into the upper chest and even catches a bit of the face mask of Josh Dobbs. I think it couldn't have been much more obvious than what it was. And I figured that the NFL would come down hard on him because, again, continues to be a repeat offender, and that is it's a dangerous play for the person getting hit in Dobbs, but it's also a very dangerous play for Jackson to continue to lower your head and use the crown of your helmet on these tackles. And so I'm glad that they continue to try and send the message, and maybe eventually he will learn to quit doing it.
Philly, we talked about, known for their cheesesteaks. Here in Memphis, they're known for a lot of things, including their hot wings. A lot of terrific places that serve up great hot wings, and I think the best is the Crazy Coop with 2 convenient locations at 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten, and the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. Why are they the best? Because they offer 27 different flavors, different seasonings for the chicken wings, and that's what makes the chicken wings, those seasonings that they have. Everything from the Buffalo Ranch, a perfect combination of ranch seasoning with a little kick to it, the mango habanero, the sweet taste of mango, followed by the heat. And if you really want heat, the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or the Crazy Suicide. That's just a few of the flavorings you can get, the seasonings you can get on your hot wings at the Crazy Coop. You can also purchase the seasoning separately, make your own hot wings at home, and use their seasonings. Family owned and operated. Here's a perfect thing to do. You got Thanksgiving. Most people will be cooking the turkey, and there's a lot that goes into preparing for a big Thanksgiving meal. Well, tomorrow night you got to eat dinner. You don't want to cook. Why don't you order some hot wings from the Crazy Coop? You can order online, go pick them up. You can have any of the services deliver to your home, of course, your office as well. Whenever you are in the mood for the hot wings, call on the Crazy Coop. At the Bartlett location, they got the full menu. That includes those delicious catfish sandwiches, those juicy half-pound burgers, the sides like the fried okra, the green tomatoes, the fried dill pickles, and they also have all different varieties of the chicken, like the whole wings, the party wings, the boneless wings, the chicken tenders. Make sure to ask about their crazy packs. They're open 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. 7 days a week. I'm sure they're closed on Thanksgiving, but any time is a good time for wings from the Crazy Coop. Again, 2 convenient locations, 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten in Bartlett, and the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
It doesn't matter if you're at the lake, if you're hunting, fishing, playing golf, or just playing around, Scooters Plus can hook you up with the mobility that you need. Scooters Plus has the largest vehicle and parts inventory in the Mid-South and the best service department. You can choose from ATVs, UTVs, golf carts, motorcycles, dirt bikes, trikes, scooters, and even electric bikes. Come in today to start or wrap up your holiday shopping with 25% down on Christmas layaways. Scooters Plus, 3425 Summer Avenue. Call Sam at 458-8843 or go online to scootersplus.us.
I feel good shopping at DriveMax. DriveMax, you get value.
Need a car that screams I feel good? DriveMax has it all. From cars to SUVs, find a tightly inspected used car that'll have you dancing all the way home. Call 901-664-2424 or visit DriveMaxApproval.com.
DriveMax, I got approved.
Hi, this is Greg Gaston. This year, FanDuel's got something you'll really be thankful for. because right now new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. With so many games going on, Thanksgiving is the perfect time to join. Rivalry games like the Cowboys and Commanders, gotta love Dallas. And how about the Lions? The way they're playing, I think they'll take care of the Packers in another rivalry game. So visit FanDuel.com/Gasman and fill up your plate with parlays and player props all weekend long. And not just the NFL. College football, college hoops, and the NBA as well. FanDuel, official partner of the National Football League. Must be 21 or over, present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
Grapevine Liquor and Wine has the largest selection of bourbon in North Mississippi and wines from all over the world. Let Jimmy the Delta Boy help you select the perfect spirit or wine to impress. Whether you're looking for the best price or a certain flavor profile, Grapevine Liquor and Wines has it. If you want good southern treatment and the hottest prices, Grapevine Liquor and Wine, Getwell Road, South Haven.
Hotty toddy, gosh almighty, where do you get your bourbon? Flim, flam, bim, bam, Grapevine, by damn.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. They're still on the scene trying to clean up this nasty-looking wreck over here at Chelsea at Watkins. Also a crash at Holmes Road at Tullahoma getting some attention. It's starting to pick up out here now, the normal spots, if you want to call it that, on Bill Morris Parkway coming inbound out of Collierville, headed up towards 240. Lots of radar already out here. You're going to see more and more of that over the next few days. Hey, don't miss the Enchanted Garden of Lights at Rock City in Chattanooga this holiday season. Check them out online at crockcity.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So I admit I'm wrong about the Tigers basketball team. I thought they would crack into the top 25. They did not. They remain number 26 in the latest AP poll, which came out yesterday. They did get 149 votes, which puts them 14 behind number 25, Mississippi State. The Bulldogs in the top 25. Kansas 1, Purdue 2, Arizona 3, Marquette 4, UConn 5. You have Houston 6, Tennessee is 7. Tennessee's playing in that Maui Invitational, although it's in Honolulu because of the fires, the tragedy there. But they are playing some good basketball. Texas A&M, which is on Memphis' schedule, they are number 12. Kentucky 16. Bama 17. You have Florida Atlantic drops to 19 after losing their game to Bryant. Arkansas 20. And as I mentioned, Mississippi State 25. But look, they put a preseason poll together to have something to talk about. What they really should do is not have any preseason top 25. They should evaluate after the first week and then decide who's in the top 25. Because once you have a preseason top 25 poll, you're not going to shake it up that much. You're going to assume that the 25 you had in there are good teams, but sometimes you miss on a preseason poll. Again, I don't know. Memphis probably should be in there. They're not in there, just on the outside looking in.
Yeah, it's weird. This is it's abnormal voter behavior in this instant, although they had another. Like, Virginia jumped over Memphis from last week. Virginia was right behind them last week. Ends up just ahead of them this week.
And then lost.
Well, yeah, they lost last night. But,
yes.
But Virginia last week, they had 2 wins. They beat North Carolina A&T and Texas Southern, who are both in the bottom, 80 teams in the country in KenPom rankings. So apparently those 2 wins were enough to sway the voters and put them over Memphis, which is weird.
Did the voters see Jackson State knock off Missouri, and it hurt Memphis because that was their marquee win of their 3 wins?
Memphis beat Jackson State.
True.
Mississippi State had to come a long way. They jumped a lot of teams. Because last week, they only had 19 votes. And they jumped all the way up there.
Who'd they beat?
Now, they at least beat 2 Power 5 schools. They beat Washington State. They beat Northwestern. They're not good Power 5 schools, but they're Power 5 schools. So I get whatever. Like that, maybe you're rewarding them for actually playing some Power 5 schools early in the year instead of North Carolina A&T and Texas Southern. But whatever, I don't know. So, but they had to. I mean, they jumped over. They had to jump a lot of teams to get up there, and they were able to do that. Because the 2 teams that fell out of the poll, Villanova and Illinois, because the 2 new teams in are Mississippi State and Virginia. And see this was perfectly normal yet somewhat dumb voter behavior. Illinois lost the game last week, and so everybody, they lost to the number 4 team in the country. If you're the I don't remember what they were, 21st or 22nd, and you lose to the 4th ranked team in the country, like
you're supposed to lose.
Like in the coaches poll, Illinois moved up a spot. In the AP poll, everybody's like, "Oh, they lost the game. They got to fall out. You got to drop them." Like that's the normal voter behavior. Well, they lost the game. Got to drop them. Again, like what they lost by 7 to the number 4 team in the country, Marquette. Like that would be a completely normal outcome of that game. That doesn't mean Illinois isn't as good as you thought they were at number 21 or 22. That just means they aren't the number 4 team in the country.
Right, and the coaches gave them the respect because they played a caliber team in the top 5, so they didn't hurt their standing. In fact, they enhanced it, as you said, by a spot. But there's way too many voters in the AP poll. There's a million of them. But they don't know. Half of them don't know what they're doing.
And I think the thing that hurt Memphis and the AP, because they gained a bunch of points, but because it was just there were so many. I think those higher ranked teams that lost, and although they didn't fall out of the poll, that caused a lot of shifting around of votes. And that I guess would be the only. But because the normal voting behavior, again, the Illinois dropping out, normal voting behavior, dumb voting behavior, but normal voting behavior. The other thing would be like. It just happens that usually if the team that's 26th one week doesn't lose, and there are teams that drop out of the poll, they're usually going to move in. But for whatever reason, this week, again, Virginia with those wins over North Carolina A&T and Texas Southern, just too much to overcome.
Yeah, and then they got punked yesterday by Wisconsin, 65-41 in the Fort Myers tip-off. Some other results from yesterday. In the Maui, I mentioned that Tennessee won their basketball game. They beat Syracuse 73-56. Meanwhile, Purdue over Gonzaga, that was 2/11, 73-63. Kentucky in the Wildcat Challenge had to go overtime to beat St. Joe's 96-88. Kentucky's ranked 16th. Connecticut, the defending national champions, picking up where they left off. They look good. 5th-ranked Connecticut over 15th-ranked Texas, 81-71. Kansas in the Maui beat Chaminade 83-56. And another good one in the Maui, Marquette and UCLA. Marquette won by 2. Just an incredible field. There's a great field where Memphis is in the battle for Atlantis. But this Maui field, again, being played in Honolulu, tremendous.
Oh, Maui always has a great field for that tournament. David says the problem with the voters is they aren't all qualified or pay enough attention.
Right.
I think we always criticize the coaches, like, because who knows who's actually doing their polls.
Mm-hmm.
But I often wonder, like, of the AP voters, like, how many actually really, especially early in the year, even, like, again, how many of them just saw Illinois lost a game, don't look to see who they lost it to or anything, just like, oh, Illinois lost a game, I got to drop them out of my ballot, and not caring that who it is against. Again, if you're playing the number 4 team in the country, you are supposed to lose.
I would guess a lot of them. I mean, there are certainly quality voters. I know a lot of people who have a vote that are big-time writers and they do their job, but there are some that just certainly do it half-assed, let's be honest. They don't really put much effort into it, and that's why there's too many. There's just way too many voters. So anyway, Memphis doesn't get in. The Tigers and Michigan tomorrow, 4 o'clock Central, and then depending on what they do and depending on what Arkansas, Stanford does, they're going to play one of those 2 teams on Thursday in the second game, and then Friday it will wrap up before they get ready for some big roadies at Ole Miss on December 2nd, VCU December 6th, Texas A&M December 10th, before coming home to play Clemson on December 16th. This is the time. I know coaches, when they do the coach speak, will tell you, it's all about the conference. It's all about nah. And I don't know, Penny's pretty honest, so Penny would probably be really honest with us. It's all about what's going on right now. The next month for Memphis, assuming they don't fall apart in the crappy American Conference, let's be honest, they shouldn't lose a game, maybe a game in that conference. There's going to be a bad night. There always is a bad night, but they should win the bulk of their games. And if they don't, that's a problem. So assuming that they do, this next month is going to determine how high a seed they're going to be in the NCAA tournament. These games are pivotal, and it is so important to get on the winner's side of the bracket in the Bahamas. Tomorrow, taking care of business against a Michigan team that already has a loss to Long Beach, a good team. Long Beach is a good team, not a great team. And they're using Phil Martelli, the former St. Joe's head coach, as the interim head coach with the health issues for Juwan Howard. Memphis needs to take care of business tomorrow. They need to win that first game and then see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that the non-conference is going to dictate their ability to get a seed. And again, they're not getting any help really in the non-conference right now because a lot of teams are going to play are losing some games. So it's not like they're getting they may end up not getting some really good shots, but it's still way better than anything you're seeing in the conference.
Absolutely.
So you've got to take advantage of these opportunities.
A Battle for Atlantis women's tournament just wrapped up yesterday. Congratulations to Ole Miss. They beat Michigan 60-49 to win it all. Memphis went 1-2 in their 3 games, including a loss to a very good Arizona team. The Grizzlies return to action tomorrow as they will play the Rockets in Houston. The Grizz at 3-10. A very important next week to 10 days for the Grizzlies. They'll have 3 home games after tomorrow's game in Houston. They'll play Friday against the Suns, Sunday against the Timberwolves, next Wednesday against the Jazz. We talked about where they stand and 12 more games to go before Ja returns. But what we didn't know yesterday was more injury news because it came out later in the day. Luke Kennard will be reevaluated in 2 weeks with a bone bruise in his knee. Xavier Tillman is week to week with a knee injury. The hits just keep on coming for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, and with this, with Kennard, they should, I believe they should be able to use a hardship exception if they want to. I mean, they have to, but because with Adams, Clark, Smart, Kennard, that's your 4 guys who are out for an extended period.
Mm-hmm.
And so once Kennard has missed 3 games, how many games has he missed so far?
Kennard?
Yeah, of this.
I think it's 3.
Has it been 3 straight now?
I think it's 3.
But once,
don't quote me, though.
Yeah, once he's missed 3 games, if I understand the whole hardship exception correctly, that they could, once he and Smart have both missed 3,
Mm-hmm.
Then they would be able to go out and sign somebody. Again, if they want to. That doesn't mean they certainly don't have to, but if they do want like just some warm bodies laying around because they don't have very many of them right now, because that's not even counting the fact that Laravia's, out with his shades on, which is just, he just looks funny on the sideline with those glasses on. I don't know, it's like just makes me laugh. He was down there with the Hustle last night, and I see him walking around with those glasses on, and I just laugh every time I see him. I don't know, it's funny.
Is it Eddie Murphy in Trading Places that had the?
He looks like he kind of looks like Men in Black or something. I don't know. I can't figure out what the look is. But he certainly looks just funny when you see him get up out of a huddle. You're like, it's like dude wearing sunglasses. Oh, he's got to. But yeah, there's just not a whole lot of healthy bodies right now. So I would think that maybe they would want to use that hardship exception and go bring somebody in.
Yet the effort against Boston was really, really good. And I know we got text yesterday. Nobody's into moral victories. Certainly no one's into moral victories. But it was a comeback win, 19 down in San Antonio on Saturday, toe-to-toe with Boston on Sunday. And again, makeshift lineups that Taylor Jenkins is scratching together. And you have Santi Aldama, who has really, really stepped up. So for some recent misses, or at least perceived misses by management. They certainly hit with Aldama. At least right now, it seems like it was a big hit with Aldama. He needs to continue to do what he's doing. Bain, Jackson have to be great every single game for them to have a chance. And again, this is a big week. Tomorrow night, the first of 3 here in a short period of time against Houston. That means Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks tomorrow night. Will Dylan Brooks be on his best behavior, Zach Boyd?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
There's no way he will be,
he's
right?
He's going to be talking. He's going to be, you talk about, now this might be the game where he jacks up 25 shots.
Really?
Because he's trying to go for 60.
Yeah, he wants, I mean, he wants to light the Grizzlies up.
He's one of the reasons why they're playing so well, Houston, because he's not doing things that are beyond his capability. He's playing great defense. He's become a leader on that team. He's not jacking up shots. So don't get back to your old character. Continue to do what you're doing. But yeah, he's going to be so fired up. The Grizzlies should be fired up as well. And that's one, even though it's a road game, it's Houston. You need the win. You got 12 more without Ja, and just because Ja comes back doesn't mean all of a sudden you're going 57-0 with Ja. Who knows if he's even playing that many games? He's going to miss some games. There's no question about it, and they're not going to win all those games. So you got to get as many wins as possible. And right now, sitting at 3-10 ain't cutting the mustard. So what can you do, especially over the course of the next couple of weeks? Is going to be extremely important. I think this is a good chance because again, you play Houston on the road, not a great team, good team, surprise team, and then you got the 3 home games.
Raider Corey says we have to be the worst team in the league when it comes to diagnosing injuries. Not serious equals week-to-week evaluations, out a month, etc. Well, the most obvious one is a 3 to 5 week injury that is going to end up being at least a 21-month injury.
You got new people too, right? It's Ortho South now.
Yeah.
No longer
as
Campbell?
far as the doctor,
Yeah.
the doctor, they've got their training staff.
Sure,
but it's. And again, the problem, the weird part about it with the Grizzlies is that you get different messages. For instance, the Marcus Smart injury, Taylor Jenkins meets the media and says, he's going to be out maybe this weekend or whatever. I can't remember exactly what his quote was, but act like it wasn't. He might miss the next couple of games, but not serious at all.
And then they throw out 3 to 5 weeks.
Later that day,
right?
They announce he's out 3 to 5 weeks. Like.
Wait till
if you got this when Taylor Jenkins goes to meet the media, he's going to be asked about Marcus Smart's injury and all likelihood. So somebody informed Taylor Jenkins of what to say. Like, was Taylor Jenkins told it wasn't serious and he'll probably just miss a couple of games, or was he not told anything and he was just guessing? Like, somebody give Taylor Jenkins the messaging, because that's where people start going, well, this is weird. Why is your coach say one thing and literally like 2 hours later? A report comes out or you officially announce something completely different than what the coach said.
Yeah, I would like to know how much information he's privy to, because you would have to think that this guy's frustrated. Yes, he's frustrated with not having his players, but he's got to be frustrated with injury reports, what he's being told, unless he's in on the loop. He knows everything that's going on and just regurgitates it. I don't know. It is, as Corey said.
Well, clearly that's not the case, because he said something completely opposite.
Well, yeah, unless he misunderstood. I have no idea. It is a farce. And it's just crazy. Wait till Ja returns for his first game, and he's on the injury report with like a sprained ankle or something. And you're going to go, what the hell? Wait till that happens. All right, when we come back, got some Major League Baseball news want to get into, a little bit more from the National Football League as well.
This Friday, folks, you know what it is. It's Black Friday, and boy, oh boy, the holiday shopping season is here. And, of course, we'll start in full fashion on Friday. And over at Genesis Diamonds, starting on Black Friday, they've got a 3-day event for you with their lab-grown diamonds. It's unbelievable, their Black Friday sale, but it continues Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3-carat lab-grown diamond, just $599. 2 carats for $299. That's the types of deals that you're going to be able to get this weekend at Genesis Diamonds. Other stores are charging, thousands of dollars for these same things that you're getting for $500, for $299, things like that at Genesis Diamonds. Now, this offer is only limited to the first 150 customers with the purchase of one of their exclusive settings. But that's this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the Black Friday lab-grown diamond sale at Genesis Diamonds. If you haven't been there yet, you got to go check it out. The selection is unbelievable. The prices are unbelievable. And the prices this weekend are truly, you're just never going to see this ever again. Genesis Diamonds is located Poplar and Perkins Extended. That's the Poplar Commons Shopping Center. They are right in the middle of the shopping center there, the Poplar Commons Shopping Center. This weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the lab-grown Black Friday sale at Genesis Diamonds.
You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
How's the Christmas shopping going? Yeah, that's what I thought. But Frontier Western Store will make it a lot easier. Everyone loves something from Frontier. They have thousands of coats, shirts, and boots. Outfit the entire family today. Looking for a Carhartt beanie? Frontier has every color they make. You'll find a whole wagon full of beanies. You'll also run into the largest selection anywhere of in-stock Carhartt and Ariat jackets and coats. They have endless aisles, an astounding collection at amazing prices. Don't forget the boots, work boots, and dress boots from Rocky, Dan Post, and especially Ariat. Frontier is the place to shop for name brand boots at the lowest prices every day. Way lower than chain stores and online. Thousands of boots in all sizes for men, women, and children. Not sure what to get? Frontier gift cards are always the right size, color, and price. Frontier Western Store, 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, or shop online 24/7 at frontierwesternstore.com. Locally owned and operated since 1967.
Whether it's date night, a birthday, or just because, raise a steak in celebration at Ruth's Chris. Open in the Regalia Shopping Center at the corner of Poplar and Ridgeway. Treat yourself to one of our classic USDA prime beef steaks, seasoned and broiled to perfection. Then serve sizzling hot on one of Ruth's signature 500-degree plates. Visit Ruth'sChris.com to make a reservation. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, Memphis. This is how celebrating more is done.
Let's end this year with a bang with Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. You want huge savings? We Gossett. The awards keep coming for the world's first and best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV, 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, 420 total range and PGE. We Gossett at $299.96 a month. Plus, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, buy for $26,850 or $379 a month. Plus, IIHS top safety pick in seat 7, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $32,185 or $399 a month. All equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ062,303, MSRP 44,355, 84 months, 500 military and conquest or loyalty rebate. Outlander RZ 006545, MSRP 33,185. Sport RU 001,004, MSRP 27,850. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I like putting a spread bet together with the over for my parlays, and anytime player touchdown always has me on the edge of my seat. So if you're ready to do the same, visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. It expires 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So, Taylor Jenkins last Friday, met with the media before they left for San Antonio. And he was asked about Marcus Smart. I think there was more to this quote, but part of it was nothing too serious.
I guess now 3 to 5 weeks is not too serious. Compared to what's happening with Steven Adams and what happened to Brandon Clark.
Steven Adams was a 3 to 5 week injury. He also said...
Sure it was.
He also said, not sure on Luke Kennard this weekend. He's progressing well, listed in day to day. And yesterday he will be reevaluated in 2 weeks.
Right. So again,
somebody give Taylor Jenkins some information before he goes and talks about injuries.
He's either not given the right information or for some reason he does the old switcheroo. I don't know what's going on with that. All right, 5 favorite things tomorrow. What is our topic?
This is actually, it's funny, we were talking the Philly cheesesteak, but we're going to go with your 5 favorite places in Memphis. Got to be in Memphis.
Okay.
To get a sub or deli sandwich.
All right.
Can be national chains or whatever, but they have to have a place in Memphis.
It's funny because I was rattling off the names of some sandwich shops in Memphis when I was looking up cheesesteaks, but I didn't specify Philadelphia cheesesteaks in Philly, and some things popped up. Places in Memphis to get a sub or deli sandwich, your 5 favorite. Okay, that'll be for tomorrow's 5 favorite things. Coming up in hour number 2, we'll open up with Humdinger's Trivia. Then we'll talk Tigers football with Jonah Dillon and more Tiger talk with Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis. Some baseball news. The Cardinals yesterday signed Lance Lynn to a 1-year deal worth $10 million, reuniting Lynn with the team that drafted him about a decade and a half ago. Last year, started with the White Sox, ended with the Dodgers. So Lance Lynn trying to bolster that rotation, which was in shambles this past year. Also, the Cardinals have hired infielder Daniel Descalso to be on the team's 2024 coaching staff as their bench coach. Joe McEwing will move to special assistant under John Mozeliak. This will be it for Mozeliak's contract, I believe, unless they extended it, is done after this upcoming year in 2024. If it's another disastrous year for the Cardinals, I would imagine that Marmol would be gone and Mozeliak would be gone. And they clean house.
I would think there's a pretty good chance of that. I know there's a lot of Cardinal fans that are not big Mozeliak fans.
Yeah, I would think so.
I don't know what the ownership group feels about him, but they're not used to losing very much.
From the NFL, Zach Wilson has been demoted a couple of spots. That's right. Tim Boyle will start Friday's game against the Miami Dolphins at MetLife Stadium. Trevor Siemian will be signed from the practice squad, will serve as Boyle's backup. That means Zach Wilson will become the number 3 quarterback under the new NFL's new emergency quarterback rule. So that seems like it's the beginning of the end for Zach Wilson. Maybe that was a while ago.
When you're behind Tim Boyle and Uncle Rico, I would say that it's not a good sign. Not a real good sign of faith from your coach when that becomes where you stand in the pecking order.
They rolled a long time with Zach Wilson. They gave him ample opportunities. He just was unable to come through. That was one they just missed. From the world of golf, TGL Virtual Golf, the league that Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy are putting together, is going to be delayed until 2025 due to damage. Some damage that was done at the Florida arena that they plan to use for this virtual golf league. So it will not happen until at least 2025. Boy, I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, I think it's one of those like balloon dome type things, and I think like there was so that the air, like I think like power went out, so the air went into the place, collapsed.
Jeez,
did some damage.
So I mean, basically, what is it? These guys are like playing, like we would go out and play virtual golf at a course, St. Andrews or Augusta National. That's what they're doing as well. Who cares? Who cares to watch that when you can watch these guys actually play real golf? And Tiger's coming back. Isn't he playing in?
He's playing in the Hero World Challenge.
And that's in the Bahamas? Bermuda, sure one of those places?
I don't
one of those cold, nasty places, right?
Yeah. We'll see. I'll see. Be interested to see how he looks.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to guess it won't be real good. This side of the program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station, Quince is where you'll find them. Of course, the Big Green Egg, all the accessories. They are a platinum dealer of the Big Green Egg. It's where I've got my Big Green Egg and accessories as well. Plus, of course, anything you need for around the house to get those DIY projects done. With the holiday weekend coming up, maybe you got some things you need to get done. Well, go see the folks at East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince.
Humdinger's Trivia starts off hour 2. That's next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Simple, smooth, and every sip is easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Here at Memphis Barbecue Supply, we have everything you need for your Thanksgiving feast. If you're smoking, deep frying, or putting that turkey in the oven, we got over 20 different turkey injections and brines to keep your meat juicy and moist, with brine bags and buckets, and 308 different rubs and sauces to choose from. If you're in need of fuel, Memphis Barbecue Supply carries 9 different types of wood chip, chunk, mini logs, and logs of wood, and over 4 tons of wood pellets in stock. And don't worry, we also carry thermometers, injectors, and all other sorts of gadgets that you might need to simplify your cook. And for any questions that you might have, our knowledgeable staff is always eager to help. Memphis Barbecue Supply is located at 7041 Stage Road in Memphis, or you can order online at mbbqsupply.com. Follow us on all the social media platforms for recipes, new products, and barbecue news.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps, fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Great quality Western, work, and safety toe boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett & Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
What happens to former real estate agents when they want to sell their homes? This is Sheldon Rosengarten, actually Shell Dunn, with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. I am so proud and feel so honored when former real estate agents contact me when they want to sell their homes. They know that I've been in the business for quite a while, have a great deal of experience, and know that I am good at marketing, not merely putting a sign in the yard and hoping it sells. Over the years, I have developed a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in what you make and when. Talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure that I am one of them. So if you or someone you know is thinking about selling a home, remember what other real estate agents who have been in the business do. They call me, Shell Dunn Rosengarten, at 483-0546 or email me at memphisrelocate.com. I will wait to hear from you to take advantage of this good market. That's 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Thank you.
A 3-carat lab-grown diamond for just $599? A 2-carat lab-grown for only $299? A 1-carat lab-grown diamond for just $99? It's not a mistake. It's Genesis Diamond's unbelievable lab-grown Black Friday sale. That's right. This weekend, Genesis is offering deals absolutely no one can touch. So you can put the ring of her dreams on her finger and get the deal of your dreams at the same time. Other stores are charging $10,000 for 3-carat lab-grown diamonds. But at Genesis, it's just $599. Their 2-carat lab-grown diamonds are over $4,000, but the Genesis price is just $299. And their 1-carat lab-growns are $1,500, but you can get a 1-carat lab-grown at Genesis for just $99. This offer is not too good to be true, but it is limited to the first 150 customers with the purchase of one of Genesis' exclusive settings. Imagine proposing to the love of your life with a stunning 3-carat certified lab-grown diamond, any shape, showcased in a one-of-a-kind setting. Don't miss Genesis Diamond's lab-grown Black Friday event this weekend, including Sunday, on Poplar at Perkins Extended. See store for details.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. Sports 56 Traffic.
Good morning. We did have a couple of wrecks earlier that were in their clearing stages as of a few minutes ago. Still a little bit of volume over here developing on 240 as you come past Sam Cooper down towards Walnut Grove as that volume of traffic increases. I-40 across the bridge over from West Memphis. Plenty of radar from what we understand on I-40 out towards Forest City as you travel through that section of Arkansas. Hey, don't miss the Enchanted Garden of Lights at Rock City in Chattanooga this holiday season. Check them out online at CRockCity.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. 8:05 is the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. It is what date is it today? The 21st, 2 days away from Thanksgiving, the 21st of November. We're in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, their overstock sale continues at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd with you. Currently cloudy and 55. We're looking today at mostly cloudy throughout the day. We've already hit our high temperature for the day. It will dip tonight to about 42 with a few clouds, and tomorrow intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 53. Coming up in just a few moments, we'll be talking with Jonah Dillon, who covers Tigers football and the Grizzlies for the Commercial Appeal. But right now, since it's Tuesday, it's time for Humdinger's Trivia.
That's right. And of course, since it's Tuesday, it also means it's Taco Tuesday. Over at Humdinger's, their chicken and fish tacos are just $2 each all day, each and every Tuesday over at Humdinger's. Of course, beyond the tacos, so many other great things, all the different grilled fish options with those fantastic toppings and sides, crispy fish and chips. They do a special with the crispy fish and chips on Friday every single week. Of course, you've got the chicken dishes, you've got sandwiches, you've got salads. You'll find it all at Humdinger's. Healthy, delicious, inexpensive food. Of course, if you need an event catered, they can do that for you as well. Check them out at Humdinger's. That's at Poplar and Massey. Online, humdingersrestaurant.com. You can check out the entire menu there. And if you are the first to answer our trivia question correctly, well, then you'll get a $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's, so you can go over there and enjoy some of that delicious food. You can answer via text on the Sports 56 listener line, 901-360-8255, 901-360-8255. Text in those answers. Again, the first correct answer gets the $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's. And here is today's question. Last night on Monday Night Football, we had a rematch of last year's Super Bowl between the Chiefs and the Eagles. Many people think it could be a preview of this year's Super Bowl, this season's Super Bowl as well. Only one time in history have we had a repeat of a Super Bowl matchup in back-to-back years. Which two teams were involved in the only repeat matchup of a Super Bowl in back-to-back years? 901-360-8255. Text in those answers. First correct answer, $25 gift certificate to Humdinger's.
Before we bring on Jonah, some breaking NFL news. A statement on social media from Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin that he has relieved Matt Canada of his services, offensive coordinator for the Steelers. It was only a matter of time before the much-maligned Matt Canada was going to lose his job with the Steelers.
They had, it was funny, because and I don't know if they were doing it everywhere. I know on one week on game day, there was somebody in the crowd that had a Fire Matt Canada sign.
Oh, I saw that. It might have been last weekend.
Like, man, that's hilarious. That you're like, hey, we'll get anywhere we can. We're going to try and get Matt Canada fired.
By the way, as much as you hate Canada, I'm sure you're very happy about this.
I have nothing against Matt Canada.
Okay, it's just the country.
Yes.
Without further ado, time to talk some Tigers football. He covers the Tigers football. In fact, he's the Tigers football beat writer for the Commercial Appeal. Also covers the Grizzlies as well. He's a fine writer. You can follow him on Twitter at the Jonah Dillon. And Jonah Dillon is going to join us now on Sports 56 Mornings. Jonah, how are you?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Hey, doing fine. Thanks for joining us. I know it's early for all you journalists out there. You love to, stay up all night and, burn the midnight oil, and getting up early is just we're very thankful for that, my friend. All right, let's jump right into it. Golden opportunity again for Tigers football last Saturday, and they don't get it done. They lose in a close game to SMU 38-34. What has been kind of the reaction that you have heard from fans and talking to people? I'm sure people have texted you about the Tigers and where they are right now as they close in on the end of the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, you're looking at a team that beat every team that it was favored to beat and lost every game that it was favored to lose in. And I think fans are unhappy about that because a lot of people were kind of expecting that going all the way back to the Tulane game. And obviously Memphis came in. It's the SMU game as a pretty significant underdog. And I thought that post-game on Saturday, the players and Ryan Silverfield, it felt like an end. It felt like the season had just ended, basically, the way they were talking about it. And obviously part of the season did end. They set out at the beginning of the season and they set our goals to win a conference championship. And Saturday's loss ended, their conference title hopes. So in that sense, it was an end. It was the latest in the season that the Tigers have been relevant in that conversation under Ryan Silverfield. So I think that's definitely something that had happened in late November instead of, October or much earlier in the season. But it's difficult. Now we have basically this game coming up against Temple, and then we have the next however many weeks before the bowl game and then after the bowl game to kind of figure out what we make of this season, because I think it can go a couple different ways. People obviously have already. But it's difficult because they won a lot of games, but also they didn't beat any team that you're looking at and saying, wow, that was a really good win.
Yeah, and it's, we've talked about it a lot on here, and it's when you hear from fans, it's just because Ryan Silverfield has become a very seemingly polarizing coach in that there are definitely two sides, and people shape their argument. And there are very good points to be made on each side of it. And so it does make it weird, I think, when you have a season in which you really do literally beat everybody you were favored to beat and lose to the ones you're not favored to beat, how you do really assess what that season has been, and especially when it's at the University of Memphis and it could be a 9-3 season. Those don't come very often at the University of Memphis. So it's I think this is really hard to try and figure out what this year has been.
Yeah, and I totally agree, and I've been trying to figure it out myself over the past couple of days, and like I said, we'll continue that. I think, it's kind of like a Rorschach test. You see what you want to see. Either you see you see the opponent and you think, wow, they're not very good, or you see the record and you see the record that historically Memphis has had, and you say, wow, this is much better than it usually is. There's just so many caveats with any argument. Like if you're looking at it and saying, look at how many wins they got, then you can say, well, who did they beat? What are the wins? And if you're saying, well, look, they didn't beat these teams, you can say, well, they were actually competitive in every game, including the losses. They were leading in all of those games. And it was difficult against some of those bad teams, but they did win all those games, and you have to give them credit for finding a way to win, because last season they didn't find a way to win. They lost all the close games. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot. Obviously, they've got to go beat Temple on Friday. If they don't beat Temple on Friday, then there's your circle that one as the glaring loss, obviously. But yeah, it's difficult to kind of unpack what to make of the whole season.
Well, I agree with everything you just said, and there are a lot of positives. But again, going back to the 3 losses, although you don't expect to beat Missouri, that game was originally going to be in Memphis, ended up in St. Louis at a so-called, I'm using the air quotes, neutral field. We know it wasn't neutral. Tulane, the team that was picked to win the American, and an SMU team that has a lot of money and bought themselves into the ACC. But that's excuses if you just want to chalk it up to 3 teams that you should have lost to because they were favored. My question to you is, what are the 2 or 3 reasons why they couldn't get over the hump in any of those 3 games?
They couldn't make enough plays down the stretch. I think for all the things I just said about them winning close games, if you look at all the losses, they were close games. The SMU game is the most obvious example because of the penalties on that drive, and then the defense's inability to get a stop when SMU got the ball back after that, because those were 2 opportunities where it was a 3-point game. Either Memphis could have gone down and scored on that drive where they had the penalties, or they get a stop and they have a chance to go tie or win the game at the end of the 4th quarter. So that's one of those things we talk about. Like, SMU is a good team, obviously, and they found a way in the 4th quarter. They made enough plays to win. And in that game, Memphis didn't. And in the Tulane game, it was close. Memphis was winning in the 3rd quarter, was on that crazy run where they had all the momentum. And then they just kind of zapped out of there, and they couldn't turn it back around in the 4th quarter. So I think that you can look at those 2 games and part of the Missouri game too and see similarities in kind of what happened down the stretch.
And it's funny too, because that you bring that up, and again, depending on what side you're on, the supporters will say, well, against those teams, they were really close to winning those games they lost. The non-supporters will say, against the bad teams, you had to struggle to beat them. Again, it's all shaped in how you want to shape your argument. Obviously, listen, Ryan Silverfield's not getting fired this year. It's certainly not after a 9-win season. But do you have any indications, like how you feel, or how the Laird Veach and company feel about the job Ryan Silverfield is doing?
Well, I think if you just look back to what Laird Veach said after last season when he announced that Ryan Silverfield was going to stay, it was about upping the level and competing for conference championships, right? And so, again, like, you can't sit here and say that they didn't do better this year than they did last year. Now, again, there has to be caveats because of the schedule. But I think that being in the conversation, it's important. We talk about wins and losses, but also all this is colored with the Memphis trying to get into another conference, right, and trying to prove itself on a national stage. And the reality is, when you're in these conversations near the end of the season, that helps you because it builds your brand. Even if somebody's looking at playoff scenarios or looking at the standings last week and they see that Memphis is still alive in the conference title race, that's good for Memphis because it shows that they're kind of on that stage and they should be legitimate contenders. And next year, when the playoff expands, that means that Memphis at the beginning of the season, people are going to have to say this is a playoff contender, and that's a big deal in terms of branding and getting yourself noticed by other people. So I think in that sense, they took a big step this season. Now, the conference is going to get weaker next year when SMU leaves. And I think it's very realistic to say the expectation has to be that you're like, I mean, really, you're looking at two other teams, right? So if Memphis finishes third next season, what conversation are we having? Anything below that, I think, even though we know that some of these teams are probably going to improve, is not at the expectation that people are going to have. So I think that this season has been, it's gone in the right direction in that sense, but that just means that next year is going to be another season where we're going in saying this is a make or break season for this program and for Ryan Silverfield, which is funny because I feel like we said that this year and then we might be doing that again next year. So you never know.
It could get even weaker if Jeff Traylor ends up leaving for another job, leaving UTSA, and Frank Harris will finally use up his collegiate eligibility. So I expect them to be a pretty decent program, but that 1-2 punch of that coach and quarterback has led them for a number of years. We're talking with Jonah Dillon. He covers the Tigers and the Grizzlies for the Commercial Appeal. You can follow him on Twitter at the Jonah Dillon. I said yesterday that I think the response from fans to a certain extent is generational. The perception of the team and where they are. This is a 10th straight year of going to a bowl game, albeit to get to a bowl game, you got to win 6, not 9 or 10, and there are a million bowl games. Last night I was hosting the radio show, Ryan Silverfield's radio show for Jeff Brightwell, and Russell Copeland was one of my guests, and he talked about when he was at Memphis, they had winning seasons, 6 wins. He said, we didn't go to a bowl game because there was a limited amount of bowl games. He goes, I'd love to go to a bowl game. I don't care what bowl game it is. But younger people, it's like, it's just another bowl game. Who cares? It's the Gasparilla Bowl or the Military Bowl. So what do you think it is as far as that's concerned, as far as the perception? Is there maybe a little generational gap of what the expectations are and what maybe some of the older statesmen who have been following the Tigers for years and years think of the team and where they should actually be in the pecking order?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think once you raise the expectations of a program and you're going to bowls consistently, then that becomes the minimum expectation. Even Ryan Silverfield said that yesterday. Yes. He said going to a bowl game is the minimum expectation. So you have to look at it through the lens of, like, what are realistic expectations for improvement? And once you establish that the program is going to win 6 games every year, which Memphis has been doing consistently, and that is realistic, then that's not really, like, that's just a baseline. So if you win 6 games, it's like, why aren't we improving? We've been doing this for 10 years, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's what it comes down to. I mean, it's just, you look at all these programs and it's just around college football, there's different markers for what success means, like, in any season, right? I've said this before, like, last year I lived in Connecticut. They won 6 games, they went to a bowl, and they wanted to build a statue for Jim Mora. Like, that was the expectation, right? And now they're having a bad year, so you see how important that was. I think it's just, they won 6 games, they went 6-6 the last 2 seasons. So you're looking for improvement. You're looking for a program that's going in a certain direction, a positive direction. And if you've been following it for that stretch, and especially, like you said, if you haven't been following it before that, when this program was really bad, then that's just your expectation. I mean, your fans are a little bit spoiled, but that's how it goes in college football. And you have to kind of work within that realm of what the expectations are.
Seth Hennigan said after the game that he will be back next year. Do you 100% believe that Seth Hennigan will be here next year?
Yeah, the way that the question was asked, there was no other way for him to answer it. And he answered it the way that I feel like he should have and anyone would have expected him to, but there was no other way for him to answer that. You just never know with, I mean, there's nothing that would suggest that he's not going to be here next year. I'll say that. But also you never know in college football, right? Obviously I wasn't here last year, but I know what happened with Caden Prescoring. Yeah. And so you just never know. You never know what's going to happen in the transfer portal. I mean, we're less than 2 weeks away from the transfer portal opening, by the way, and then all-out chaos is about to ensue across college football and obviously at Memphis. And that means a lot of work for, even though the season is ending, that means a lot more work for the beat writers. So, so I'm, looking forward to that. But, yeah, I think let's come back next season. He's going to, barring something crazy, he's going to break all the Memphis passing records. So I think that's a conversation that people are going to have to start having about his place as an all-time Memphis Tiger, because he's already getting there. Mm-hmm. And he's close to breaking a lot of those records.
I can't even imagine this team next year without Seth Hennigan. with what he has done this year. He's played hurt. He's a warrior. He's another one of those leaders that they have at that position, following in the footsteps of Brady White. But you're right. I don't think there's a guarantee, even though he said what he said, kind of a leading question. But NIL comes into play, and he's a coach's son. He's very respectful of everyone. He honors a commitment. You don't see that often in this day and age now, but I understand where the players are coming from, trying to cash in on their name, image, and likeness. But that is something, and Ryan has talked about that before, but that is something that obviously has to get better for Memphis to be able to compete. We see Charlotte is making ends as far as that is concerned with NIL. I'm sure they'll do so at Florida Atlantic. USF has a chance. Tulane has done really well with the NIL. We know what SMU did. So, Jonah, that is part of the equation.
Yeah, it definitely is. And you got to throw UTSA in there with what they did to keep Frank Harris this year.
Right.
Obviously, he'll be gone, but that was, they showed that, that's a program that there's a lot of room for growth, and we'll see obviously what happens with Jeff Traylor and who's going to play quarterback for them next year. But I think there's a lot of programs, like you just mentioned, all those in this conference that you could see that coming from a lot. And Memphis certainly has to keep up, because the people looking at the conference from afar would kind of assume that Memphis is at the top in terms of money, just because branding wise they're a well-known team, especially in basketball also. But they're kind of in the middle there of that tier at the top, and especially with SMU leaving, if you want to keep getting these players, this is the reality of what college football looks like. I just think on Seth Hennigan also, it's important to note that like over the past 3 or 4 games, he's playing probably the best football he's played since he's been at Memphis.
Yeah.
And that wasn't necessarily earlier in the season. There were a lot of conversations about where is the improvement. We wanted to see him take this jump this season. Fans were kind of saying that, and he's really taken it over the past couple of weeks. And it's obviously even more impressive because he's clearly been playing injured. He's left each of the last 3 games at some point with an injury and come back in all those games. Threw for 400 yards on Saturday. And like you said, yeah, it's hard to even imagine what this team looks like without him now.
Well, if he is back next year, with Harris leaving, does Pratt have another year?
I think he's done.
I think he does, but he's done. People are obviously he's got an NFL buzz. We'll see.
That's why I thought he was done, because I saw some buzz about the NFL.
If Pratt leaves and Harris is gone, and if you have Hennigan back, like again, it really theoretically this conference should come down to 3 teams next year. And if those two both lose quarterbacks that have been there for a while and are really good quarterbacks, and you're bringing back a 4th-year starter, like. Yes, you should absolutely, you would think, be competing at the top of that conference.
Pratt, by the way, they list him as a junior, so I would imagine that he has another year if he wants to take that. And to your point, SMU's out of the conference, and they have a really good quarterback, but he's gone too. So, no question.
There you go. Yeah, Seth Hennigan right now, you would say, assuming he's back in Memphis, should be the best quarterback in the conference next year. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen, but he's leading the conference in passing yards. And those 3 guys have been really good. I thought Preston Stone was really impressive on Saturday. But yeah, that should be, with those 2 teams losing quarterbacks potentially, at least with UTSA losing their quarterback, he's right up there.
All right, quick answers. We're out of time. Quick answers. They've lost 3 straight in Philadelphia. They've only won 1 time against Temple in Philadelphia. Does Memphis win, and what bowl game are they going to go to?
I think they're going to win. I think it's going to be a close game. What bowl game? I think we're looking at probably Military Bowl. I would say the Fenway Bowl, maybe a little bit. Obviously, there was some buzz about the Liberty Bowl yesterday, but a lot of things have to happen for that to be a possibility.
Yeah, I think the Fenway Bowl's out. I think that's going to be the loser of the championship game. That's assuming that the winner goes to the Fiesta Bowl in the New Year's Six. Not a guarantee, especially if it's UTSA with 3 losses. But we will see sooner than later. He does an outstanding job covering the Tigers football team, but also does cover the Grizzlies and some other things for the Commercial Appeal. He's Jonah Dillon. Follow him on Twitter at the Jonah Dillon. Thank you, Jonah. I'll see you in Philly.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Memphis Barbecue Supply, they've got everything you need for your Thanksgiving feast, and now you're getting up against the deadline now. You're running out of time. I know Jimmy over there was posting stuff on social media yesterday about yesterday was the day you need to take your turkey. If you got it in the freezer, get it out, get it in the refrigerator. They will help you. They can help you in so many ways. Not only do they have all the stuff that you need, but they got people over there that can help you as well with that Thanksgiving feast, especially the turkey. No matter how you're cooking it, they've got things you need, like your brines and injections, brine bags and buckets. They've got rubs and sauces if you need those. They've got your charcoal and your pellets if you're smoking it. They've got the wood chips, chunks, mini logs. They've got thermometers, injectors, all of those little gadgets to help you as well at Memphis Barbecue Supply. 7041 Stage Road is where you'll find them. You can also find them online at mbbqsupply.com. Go on in there, get all the things you need. I know they are extremely well stocked and ready to go. Jimmy was telling me the other day when I was in there getting some stuff about the big rush they always get on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So many people like to wait till the last minute. Shouldn't be doing that, but here you are. You're in that situation, but they've got you well stocked and taken care of over at Memphis Barbecue Supply. All right, we do have some correct answers. Zach, your tiebreaker duties are going to be called on here, but I've got one I think is right up your alley. I think this is going to be right up your alley. The question was which two teams were involved in the only Super Bowl rematch that we've ever seen. They had two teams playing each other in the Super Bowl in back-to-back years.
I know this.
What's your guess?
I know the Bills were involved when they went to 4 straight Super Bowls. I think it's your team. I think it's the Cowboys.
It is. The Cowboys and the Bills played back-to-back years. The Cowboys winning both of those, 92 and 93 seasons, 93, 94 Super Bowls. But it is the Cowboys and the Bills. Now, there were a ton of right answers, but there are 4 of them that came in, same timestamp. So all the others are disqualified. Got to go down to these 4. Zach, I need you to pick out of Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, or Michelangelo.
Now I'm trying to figure out who is who again.
I have no idea. I just figured this would be right up your alley. I needed a foursome. I figured this would be right up your alley.
Let's go with Raphael.
Raphael. All right. We will be notifying our winner how you're going to get your $25 gift certificate to Humdingers.
Congratulations. When we come back.
I thought you were going to go Michelangelo. I got to be honest.
When we come back, we're going to talk with Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Spencer here with ATC Fitness. There's no better time of the year than now. Football and fitness go hand in hand in the fall. And with individual screens on each piece of cardio and multiple big screens throughout the rest of the club, you'll never miss a bit of the action watching your favorite team. ATC Fitness continues to be the Mid-South's choice for fitness, family-owned for 30 years, and proud supporters of Coach Silverfield and the Memphis Tigers. Join online at atcfitness.com. ATC Fitness, exercise your right to look good.
Now, this is the weather Sunrise was made for. You can enjoy sunrise downtown on Jefferson or sunrise east on Poplar all year long. But there's something special about tucking into a hot, fresh, delicious breakfast when there's just a bit of cool in the air. It's true for lunch, too. There's nothing like a perfect burger when you've got your coat hanging on the back of your chair. You know the food at both Sunrise locations is made just for you when you order it. And now you can enjoy it while you're not being outside in the cold. Warm up with some Sunrise.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
This time of year, big box tool stores start to sell a whole bunch of not tools, from dancing Santas to plastic trees. At Northern Tool and Equipment, we'd rather sell you a 4-horsepower chainsaw fitted with a full chisel chain to cut down your own tree. And we have wood chippers come January, because mulch. We're cutting prices on power tools, automotive jacks and stands, and portable inverter generators this holiday season. Save in store or at northerntool.com.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. Saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Sports 56 traffic.
On 240 coming past Walnut Grove and Poplar. Still looks pretty good on 385 Billmores Parkway as you come from Collierville headed toward Shelby County. Still moving right now up through the construction zone on 55 north and southbound between Macklemore and South Parkway. Weimer's Jewelry's gearing up for Black Friday. Go by and see them today at Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis joins us in just a moment. Second hour of our program each and every day is indeed brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, and on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. They are your family's jeweler, been part of the Memphis community for decades and decades. And James Gaddis wants to invite you to a Jingle and Gems holiday party to sip, savor, and shop. James Gaddis invites you on Thursday, November 30th from 5 until 8. 'Tis the season of sparkle and shine, so join them for a night filled with live entertainment, festive cocktails, and savory bites while shopping their newest arrivals just in time for the holidays. Create your personal wish list and let the elves at James Gaddis Jewelers do the work. Warmest wishes from James Gaddis Jewelers, your family jeweler. Again, November 30th. Mark it down on your calendar from 5 to 8. Go visit James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar Avenue. Time now for Jeff Crane.
It's time to talk Memphis Tigers athletics. Joining Greg and Eli is University of Memphis Deputy Athletics Director Jeff Crane. Here's Jeff with Greg and Eli.
It has been a busy time, to say the least, for the University of Memphis athletics. We talk each and every Tuesday to Jeff Crane from the University of Memphis, their Deputy AD. You can follow him on Twitter at jcrane75. Have you caught your breath yet, Jeff?
No, but that's a really good thing. We don't want to catch our breath. We like things are running fast. That usually means good things are happening. So a lot going on here.
Yeah, a lot of good things have happened. Yeah, and here's the thing. As you know, in each sport, there's championships, and only one team can win. So eventually, seasons will come to an end. And they did come to an end for your two soccer teams. But what a season it was, with the women once again reaching the Sweet 16 and the men winning their first ever NCAA tournament game. They made it to the second round. Hats off to soccer at the University of Memphis.
No doubt about it. We're having a phenomenal fall, and our men's and women's soccer teams are a big part of that success. And, success, I think, breeds success, and winning begets more winning, and so that's the sort of culture that we are all collectively trying to create here. The fact that we hosted men's and women's soccer here on our campus only happened at 9 places around the entire country that hosted both. And if you look at those programs, I mean, you're talking Notre Dame, UCLA, Clemson, North Carolina, Stanford. I mean, we're part of that group. So, just a lot of pride and excitement around those 2 programs, and the student athletes and the coaches have certainly worked so hard to get to that point.
And I mean, quite frankly, on the men's side, once you've beaten the SIUE Cougars, really championships don't matter. You've achieved the highest thing there is in sports. So, congratulations on that. I mean, that's that. At that point, everything's gravy. After that, anyway, you've accomplished all you could accomplish, quite frankly. So,
no doubt,
good on them for that. Meanwhile, on the football side of things, they will come up a little bit short of that goal of getting into the conference championship game after the loss to SMU on Saturday. So kind of when that sets in and now it's official that you're not going to the conference championship game, kind of what's that feeling from an athletic department perspective?
Yeah, first I'll say we're disappointed. I mean, we expect to be in the conference championship game. Everybody in that locker room expects to be in the conference championship game. I can tell you that having been in that locker room after the loss on Saturday, there wasn't one person that wasn't visibly upset that we lost that game. But as we know, working in sports and being around sports as fans, we got to turn the page to the next one, and it's going to come fast. I mean, we leave on Thanksgiving Day to go to Philadelphia, so that's a tough place to play. It's going to be cold. And we're gonna have to go in there and get our 9th win. And those guys are gonna really have nothing to lose, meaning Temple. And so we're gonna have to come in and be ready to go. And I know Coach Silverfield and our guys will be ready to do that. A chance to win 9 games. Mm-hmm. That's happened, I think, less than 10 times in our school history that we've won 9 games. So that's what the expectation is, and that's what we'll continue to focus on.
And if you could win that 9th game and then win in a bowl game, that's 10 wins. That has only happened 3 times, twice in modern history. So accomplishing something that's kind of rare air. Now, let me ask you about the bowl games. And I'm not sure if it's probably too early in the process. There's the rumor mill out there about the possibility of going to the military, the Gasparilla, maybe even staying here at home and once again playing in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game if the AutoZone Liberty Bowl folks don't have an SEC team. But this is interesting. When it comes down to it, for example, as you know, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl's payoff is a lot more than some of these other bowl games. But then it's the players staying at home and playing and instead of going on a trip. How are things decided as far as if you have options for a bowl game?
Yeah, good question. First I'll say all bowl games are good, and the opportunity for us to go to 10 straight puts us in a very small group of schools across the country. So first and foremost, most excited about that. But it's a conversation that happens between the conference, the bowls, and the schools, and ultimately we will collectively make the decision that's best for all. And it is just a tad early to tell. There's still so many games to be played and things that could one way or another. That it's just too early to tell. But lots of factors in play. Opportunity to stay here and play in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl would be awesome for our fans. It would be awesome for our student-athlete families that are close to this area to come back and watch. You go further away, and that becomes a little more difficult. So there's positives and negatives to every scenario. We're just glad that we're in the conversation and have been reached out by multiple bowls that would like our team to be there.
Jeff, from a financial standpoint, how does the league divvy up the money when, for example, there's the possibility of a team playing in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game, which is a bigger take than, let's say, the Gasparilla Bowl, or if Tulane or the winner of the American Conference gets into the New Year's Six and plays in the Fiesta Bowl? Is it all evenly divided, or is it more of a chunk for the teams like possibly again, the American Conference champion playing in the Fiesta Bowl.
Right. So the way that the American Athletic Conference does it is all the bowl proceeds go into one big pot and then are divided evenly. However, each school does receive a stipend for that bowl game. And so that number varies based on the bowl game that you attend. And, those that are in the New Year's Six receive a larger stipend and kind of down the list. So, as we may go to a bowl that has a higher payout, there could be an opportunity for us to receive some additional dollars that we may not otherwise receive. That remains to be seen from an exact standpoint right now, but that is definitely a possibility.
How is it? Are you guys fully responsible for the travel to bowl games, or how does that work? Because obviously, if you stay in Memphis, that helps that travel budget an awful lot.
Yeah, no question. So yes, out of that stipend that the bowl/conference provides to each school, the school is responsible for all costs associated with the travel, hotels, so on and so forth for that particular bowl. So there's certainly some advantages there to staying in Memphis.
I want to go back to what you talked about just a few moments ago and the expectations of football. The expectations were to make it to the conference championship game, and the team comes up short. What are your thoughts? And we've probably talked to you about this before, but going into 2024, SMU is leaving the conference, as you know. This past year, you obviously lost Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF. Memphis is certainly one of the top athletic programs in the conference. I don't think there's any question about it. But I would imagine, and I don't want to speak for you, the expectation is that you should be getting into the conference championship game. But how often? What are the actual expectations of football in any given year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult to put an exact timeline, like, you want to see them in a conference championship every X number of years, but you want to see progress. You want to see a program that is continuously moving in the upward trajectory, and we've certainly seen that this year with the wins that we've put together, and the other great thing about this is when you hire the right coaches and you have the right student athletes in your program, which we do. Those expectations never need to be spoken about on a regular basis because they're already a part of the culture in that program. I can assure you of that. Every single guy in that locker room wants to do that. And so, it's something we evaluate on a year-by-year basis, but you want to put yourself in a position that you can compete for conference championships. We didn't do it this year. We're disappointed. It's not what we expect. But we still have a lot in front of us in terms of going out and winning a number of games that we haven't been able to win historically here at Memphis.
On the basketball front, of course, while you'll be headed to Philadelphia, there's everybody else is going to be is in the Bahamas or headed to the Bahamas. So you really drew the short straw in this whole deal. I've never been to Philadelphia. I'm going to guess I've never been to the Bahamas. I'm going to guess the Bahamas is better.
I've been to both. I can tell you.
I'm just going to go on the idea that the Bahamas is better there, but probably a little warmer this time of year. But thought they would get into the AP top 25. They did not. They get into the coaches poll yesterday, but certainly an important stretch coming up here. A lot of road games in that important stretch, but this is a great opportunity for them to earn some big wins here over these next few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll first say that really the only difference between Philadelphia and the Bahamas is about 60 degrees. Other than that, they're pretty much the same place.
And a good cheesesteak. There you go.
Yeah, that's true. But absolutely, this is why you have opportunities to play in tournaments like this. Our women are also in the battle for Atlantis as we speak. And I think that says a lot about both of those programs. The Battle for Atlantis is one of the most prestigious tournaments in the country. And so you can see that by seeing the programs that participate in it. And so the fact that both of our programs are in that tournament this year is an exciting opportunity because to your point on the men's side, we're going to very quickly be placed in a position where we've got to play some of the best teams in the country. And that's exactly what Coach Ridgway has done all since he's been here. Is he
Mm-hmm.
wants to play the best. So big time opportunities, national television. There's lots of folks that are sitting at home around the fireplace or around the turkey, and they're watching basketball and football. And there's going to be a lot of Memphis Tigers on over the next 4 or 5 days.
And I would imagine that during this battle for Atlantis, and then subsequently what Eli talked about, the big roadies, that the performance of the team will dictate a lot what will happen as far as if there'll be an uptick on an uptake on the tickets being sold for not only conference play, but huge games at home against Clemson and Virginia. I would imagine with the team's success will mean more success in the box office.
No question. In fact, every Monday we look at a ticket report, and those December games, the Clemson, Virginia, Vanderbilt games are already selling at a high clip. We've got a tough slate there in December. But the fact that they're home games is a huge opportunity for our fans to come out and see some of the best teams in the country. And these are NCAA caliber teams that are coming into FedEx Forum. So we certainly expect big crowds. And as we look at our ticket sales, even we're talking 3 weeks out. Ticket sales are very strong for those non-conference games in December.
Well, we want to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for joining us as always, Jeff.
Thanks so much, guys. Go Tigers, go.
That is Jeff Crane, University of Memphis Athletics Director. Again, I said this during hour number 1. You're going to be cooking the turkey. Most of you are. Some will eat out, but most of you are going to be cooking. You're going to have the family over, and there's going to be a lot to eat on Thursday. But on Wednesday, you don't want to cook because you're cooking all the Thanksgiving meal on Thursday or whenever you get to it. So you're going to want something easy for dinner tomorrow, maybe even tonight as well. And I got it for you. Hot wings from the Crazy Coop. Delicious hot wings. And what makes them delicious is their seasonings. 27 different seasonings. You can pick up the Crazy Coop hot wings at $71.99, Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten. That's their store in Bartlett, or the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar Avenue. Again, hot wings. Memphis is known for their hot wings, and there's a lot of good hot wing restaurants, but I'm telling you, if you haven't tried the Crazy Coop, you're missing out. What makes them so good are those seasonings, and there's 27 different ones, including the Crazy Sweet Lemon Pepper Hot or the Crazy Suicide if you want to go really hot, or if you can't take the heat, get the 4-cheese roasted garlic or the barbecue bacon bourbon. That's just 4 of the 27 delicious flavors. Also at the Bartlett restaurant, they got the full menu, including delicious catfish sandwiches, juicy half-pound burgers, sides like the fried okra and the green tomatoes. You can call in, pick up yourself. You can have DoorDash or any of the other delivery services delivered to your home or your office. They're open 7 days a week. They won't be open Thanksgiving, but 7 days a week. You can get the crazy packs, including the whole wings, the party wings, the boneless wings. You can even get those big, delicious chicken tenders. They will cater your event. So you got something coming up that you want catered, just call the folks at the Crazy Coop. Find them on Instagram and Facebook. Again, 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten, and the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar Avenue. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Hi, this is Greg Gaston. Time to give thanks because FanDuel is giving all customers a no-sweat same-game parlay for Thanksgiving. Just place a 3-leg same-game parlay on any of the Thanksgiving Day NFL games, and you'll get bonus bets back if you don't win. NFL same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. Build your own or choose from one of the popular SGPs pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. Visit FanDuel.com/Gasman so you don't miss out on your chance to get a no-sweat same-game parlay on America's #1 sportsbook. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline at 1-800-889-9789.
Black Friday is now a game day. The Dolphins take on the Jets in the first ever Black Friday NFL game. Stream for free only on Prime. Black Friday football. Dolphins versus Jets. Coverage begins this Friday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/watch Black Friday football for details.
Hi, this is Jonah Gamble, left guard from the University of Memphis football team. Is your credit card rewarding you for everyday purchases? Southern Security has the perfect low-interest reward card that will upgrade your wallet. Max rate is 18%, no annual fees, no cash advance fees. For more information, visit southernsecurity.org or by calling our member service team at 901-452-7900. Southern Security is a proud sponsor of the University of Memphis.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings.
Isn't it a lovely morning?
On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. So I just got a text sent to us from one of our good friends, one of our loyal listeners. And I haven't seen this yet, so I'm looking at it for the first time. And unfortunately, they asked me to maybe ask Jeff Crane, but Jeff has obviously done his segment. But according to the Daily Memphian, Sam Hardiman has a story. It's breaking news that FedEx founder, of course, they're talking about Fred Smith, will help fund Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium renovations. University of Memphis could control the stadium. That is a story. Again, all I'm looking at is the headline here. I'm assuming that that is real. Has a byline from Sam, and that's interesting. That obviously would be a good question for Jeff, who I don't know would want to share any information, even if he could. But that changes the whole ball game. That changes a lot of things as we continue to sit and wait for the Grizzlies and what's going to happen with FedEx Forum. The University of Memphis and the city of Memphis want to get those renovations started as soon as the AutoZone Liberty Bowl game is over with, and they don't want any delay. And here we are nearly in December. We're only about, 10 days away from the start of December. But this is possibly game-changing news.
Are we changing the name again?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't say anything about that, but
it is a $50 million donation from Fred Smith and his family. It says, could transfer ownership of Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium to the University of Memphis Foundation. And infuse $120 million in state money into stadium renovations.
Are you reading right from the Daily Memphian story?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's now a release from the University of Memphis. They just sent this to me. The Frederick W. Smith family, headed by the founder and executive chairman of FedEx, has committed a $50 million challenge gift to the University of Memphis for renovations to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, the home of the Memphis Tiger football team, which marks the largest gift in university history. So a challenge gift, meaning they're giving $50 million and they're, challenging other people to add more.
Well, the university is also, the university is going to do $50 million and Smith $50 million. Then they get the $120 million of the state money.
Right.
So that's the $220 million they need.
The $120 million comes from the $350 that was allocated by the state. And this is before the other money that was or is supposed to be brought in through the state taxes and the bonds and things of that nature, which gets a little complicated, which will seemingly all go to FedEx Forum. You know, what it does, again, for the other two projects, we've talked about that before, that it doesn't look likely that that will happen. But this is almost self-sustaining funding, yes, using some of the state money. But now with Fred Smith stepping up again, as he has done so many times, and FedEx has done, this is huge.
There is they do talk about the Grizzlies, and Mayor Strickland said that they would not have done this without the $120 million without the Grizzlies' consent. Jason Wexler is quoted in the story. Says, we support the city's proposed allocation of $120 million in state grant funding to the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium project and $230 million in state grant funding to the FedEx Forum project as we continue to work with the city and county on a long-term deal.
So I'm not reading from the story, but I'm getting a million texts in right now. It says, now the school would own everything inside the bowl. So how would that work with the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Southern Heritage Classic? Would now they become tenants of the University of Memphis?
I would assume so. If the university is, if they do end up making that move and the university takes over then instead of being a tenant of the city, you become a tenant of the university.
Wow, that is fantastic news. Again, it has been lingering for a while now with the Grizzlies and FedEx Forum. It's kind of held everything up. It has caused a lot of people to be irate. But I think in the end, and you talked about Jason being quoted in the article, that, look, I don't believe for 1 second that the Grizzlies are trying to, ruin what's happening with the University of Memphis and with Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. They want to take care of them. They want to take care of their arena. And that's first and foremost in their mind. But I don't think they want it at the expense of the city, the university, and so on and so forth. So Fred stepping up, as he has done countless amount of times, really puts things into a positive light for Memphis to move forward.
Richard Smith, in the story, talks about, he said, we didn't like the choice that our community was being forced to make between the funding of these two projects. So when we were presented with this conundrum, and I discussed it with my father, he did what he's prone to do. He stepped up. We felt that a private, substantial contribution could be a big difference maker, and that would really be what unlocks the deal.
They're not your ordinary Smith family, are they?
Let's see.
Impeccable timing for us as we say goodbye to Jeff Crane and this story breaks. But it is what it is. I'm not sure what Jeff would have said, that we now have certainly the information with the release from the University of Memphis. So it is official with the University of Memphis releasing this information. Sam Hardiman had that story in the Daily Memphian that was first sent to me as we started this segment talking about.
And again, some of the math is a little fuzzy because there were some things as far as those taxes and bonds and stuff that are old. But the original thing from Mayor Strickland, the original big ask that included the state money was $683 million, I believe.
I think that's the number, yes.
So if you take the 120 out of that is going to be used on Simmons Bank, that leaves 563, which is, I know that the Grizzlies have been trying, the Grizzlies number they've been trying to get down to is $550 million. So this would very much make sense in that realm of that everybody could get taken care of, and that would put everybody in the, if the Grizzlies do get to 550, again, I know some of that 683 was a little pushing around of money and
what's a million or two? I don't know
how that all will work, but that would make sense in the general math that we started with to hear that would leave basically $560 million for the Grizzlies, and the Simmons Bank gets their $220 million.
When you get smart people together that are trying to come to the same conclusion, try to get together, unite, not be separate, then good things happen. When it's others when it's people that want theirs but don't want to give in, when there's others that don't care about whatever happens to the other situation, that's when there's problems. These are people that all cared about getting this thing done, but taking care of themselves as well. And this is a great scenario here. This is a great situation right now.
And obviously there is vested interest for Fred Smith and Richard Smith. I mean, the one building has the FedEx name on it, so they want to make sure that building is taken care of. The other one houses a football team that certainly they have supported the University of Memphis for a long time. There is a lot of, Fred Smith is a big reason the Showboats are here in town. They play in that stadium.
Sure.
So there are certainly a lot of, they have a vested interest and really want to see both of these projects get done. And so great on them to step up and help make it happen, that both sides will get the money that they need.
And possibly Bobby Parra is not going to have to spend a dime.
Well, Parra's going to be spending money down the road.
There you go. You heard it first from Eli Savoy. When we come back, hour 3 of the program, our buddy Zoe Goodson, the head coach of the Rhodes men's basketball team, will join us for our weekly Rhodes segment. Later on in the hour, Blake Topmeyer on college football. But big news for the University of Memphis, for the city of Memphis. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Shopping at DriveMax. DriveMax. You get value.
Need a car that screams I feel good? DriveMax has it all. From cars to SUVs, find a tightly inspected used car that'll have you dancing all the way home. Call 901-664-2424 or visit DriveMaxApproval.com.
DriveMax. I got approved.
As you know, the holiday season is fast approaching, and as you also probably know, 117 Prime, Memphis' premier dining destination, now has its menu available for takeout. Now, far be it from us to ever suggest that somebody could, theoretically, order a full dinner from 117 Prime and then pass it off as their own cooking at a holiday meal. We all agree that doing so would be unethical. It would be just plain wrong. But think about how much effort you could save by having 117 Prime make dinner, and then you get to reap all the rewards. Again, it would be wrong.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Let's end this year with a bang with Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. You want huge savings? We Gossett. The awards keep coming for the world's first and best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV. 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, 420 total range and PGE. We Gossett at $299.96 a month. Plus, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, buy for $26,850 or $379 a month. Plus, IIHS top safety pick in seat 7. 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $32,185 or $399 a month. All equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ062303 MSRP 44,355, 84 months, 500 military and conquest or loyalty rebate. Outlander RZ 006545 MSRP 33,185. Sport RU 001,004 MSRP 27,850. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. The Memphis PD out with a couple of accidents. They seem to be minor at this point, but it is a little bit crowded at times on 40 West coming past Sycamore View Road as you get on that 240 flyover. Still looks good right now on Biltmore's Parkway 385 coming inbound out of Collierville all the way up to 240. Hey, don't miss the Enchanted Garden of Lights at Rock City in Chattanooga for the holiday season. Check them out today at CRockCity.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Okay, this car looks great wrapped around you,
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:06 the time, hour number 3 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you. Currently cloudy, 53 degrees. We're looking at a low tonight of about 42 degrees with some clouds, but at least the rain is going away. Tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sunshine with a high of 53 as we get closer to Thanksgiving. By the way, if you missed this earlier, the 5 favorite things topic for tomorrow's show, your 5 favorite places in Memphis to get a sub or a sandwich. Your 5 favorite places in Memphis to get a sub or a sandwich. It's Tuesday. It's time to talk some Rhodes athletics.
It's time to go inside Rhodes College Athletics on Sports 56 Mornings. Every week, a representative from Rhodes will join Greg and Eli to talk about all things Lynx. Let's go inside Rhodes Athletics now on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are joined by the head basketball coach for Rhodes men's basketball. That's Zoe Goodson. You can follow him on Twitter at Zoe Goodson. Hey, Coach, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing fantastic. Congratulations. You got that first dub on Sunday, part of the Rhodes Classic, after losing on Saturday against DePaul, 65-58. You found the stroke. You played a very good University of the Ozarks team and got an 85-51 win. So it all came together on Sunday.
Finally came together. Shooting came together. I always say when they're making shots, it makes me look a lot better, too. So we made a lot of shots, but, at the end of the day, all weekend we really defended really well. And really proud of the guys, even after a tough loss, having a lead at half against DePaul, we were able to come out second half and just couldn't get anything going there. But then coming back Sunday, at shoot-around Sunday morning, I knew it was going to be a special day. You felt the energy from the guys. They weren't beat up. They weren't beat down at the fact that we were 0-3. So we walked into the game feeling confident, just knowing we had a really good shoot-around. Guys came out, and we had a slow start again, down 5-0. But when we got going, it was fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a team go literally day to day from 4 for 22 from 3-point range to the following that up with a 15 for 28 performance. That's pretty good turnaround.
That's an unbelievable turnaround.
That's some great coaching you did overnight.
It's pretty impressive what I was able to get done. No, it's just the guys. And we woke up Sunday, had a meeting with the staff, and the first thing I said, we're not going to feel sorry for ourselves. We knew we had a tough schedule opening up the season. So we went into the meeting that morning, and we met with the guys to watch film. We showed them the shots that were bad shots. We showed the good shots, and we told them and we empowered them and inspired them and let them know that those shots are going to go down. We believed in them. We continued our belief in them. We had, like I said, a really good shoot around. And we practiced a lot of the shots that just didn't fall in shoot around to make sure they got to see the ball go through the hoop. And down at the end of the day, they believed in themselves and they shot the ball really well.
Well, what I like is it's positive reinforcement. Yep. You didn't, after the Saturday game, go, all right, no more three-point shooting. Yep. In fact, you shot it more on Sunday and were successful. How much a part of your team and your philosophy is the three-point shot?
It's a huge part of the game, right, for all of us. We're a big believer in we want to shoot a lot of threes. We do. We are a big believer in that. And we look at our offense. It's inside out kick the whole time. And so we're looking for we shoot the ball really well in the corner usually, and we just didn't on Saturday. But Xavier, to open up the game, he ended up a game with 31 points. But to open up the game, he had a wide open three in the corner. He airballed it. I mean, didn't even come close. But he looked at me. He was like, "Keep shooting the ball. Keep shooting the ball." Because at the end of the day, shooters got to shoot. And we are a team, we're forming a team of guys that can shoot the ball. And you're going to have great games and you're going to have some bad games. But, we're not going to quit shooting the ball.
Yeah, I would say things turned around for him from there.
Yeah.
He goes for 31. You count on your stars, and Williams and Dotson combined for 51 points in that win.
Yeah, and that's who. And I told him after the game, after the game on Saturday, I said, look, volume shooters got to keep shooting. I said, but volume shooters got to take good shots. So I got on him a little bit after the game about shot selection. And then they went into Sunday, and we broke it down, though. We sent them all their clips of all the shots they took on Saturday so they could see the good and the bad. And then they came out, and I'm not a believer in game of saying that's a bad shot. I never tell the guys in game that's a bad shot. I talk about how we can get better shots, but I'm not gonna kick them when they're down. They missed a shot. They know they missed a shot. They felt it. So you got to keep going to your guys. And Xavier and Phil are scorers. That's what they do. Xavier's a great defender. Phil is becoming a really good defender. But at the end of the day, they're volume shooters. They got to shoot the ball.
Right, 85 points, so a big offensive output. But you started to talk about that defense. You limit that team, a good team, to 51. You're doing your job defensively.
We did, and I take a lot of pride in saying this, and people, they're going to say, why is he talking about this? We really held them to 48. They got a prayer three at the end of the game. so we were really excited about the fact that we held them 251. And the guys that came off the bench the entire game, our energy level was through the roof on the defensive side. Our guys were flying around. We scrambled. We called our scramble in our defense, and our guys were moving quickly. We have implemented a couple zones over the last couple of weeks. I'm a big believer in you put things in, everything in early, and you work on it as you go. And obviously, as the season continues, you're going to continue to get better at everything. And so we got everything in. We worked really, really hard last week. I mean, we spent a week on defense after last weekend, giving up so many points, being dead last in the league in defense going into the weekend. We knew we had to change some things. We finished first in the league last year in defense. We wanted to change that up, and we did that. Went from dead last to second in the league, and so we still have a lot of things to get better at, but I was really happy with their effort.
We talk about shooting and knocking down shots, good shots. All that part of getting good shots is moving, ball movement, all those things. You're telling us you're one of the best in the country as far as assist percentage goes?
Correct, yeah. So assist percentage is number of assists per made bucket, right? And so top 20 in the country right now in assist percentage. Really excited about that. We share the ball so well. Even in a loss on Saturday, we had 13 assists on only 21 made buckets. It was just a bad day shooting, right? But we share the ball so well. And then, you look at Phil, he had 5 assists on 20 points the other day. That's a guy that, that everybody thinks is just a shooter only. He's out distributing the ball. We had another guy with 7 assists in the game on Sunday. We do a really, really good job sharing the ball. We don't
unselfish.
Very unselfish team. Very unselfish.
Injury-wise, last week we talked about the health issues. Did you have anybody back for this Rhodes Classic?
No, we lost another one.
Oh, no.
In the middle of the week, so we were one more down. Are
you the Grizzlies, by the way?
Yeah, we just can't get over the hump. So I'm giving the guys tomorrow and Thursday off. I'm hoping that will, get some of these guys that are hurt. We have some major injuries, but we also have a lot of guys that are just hurt right now that need to get back. So we give them a couple of days off, and we'll get back after. We practiced at 6 a.m. this morning, so they could go to class, go see family for a couple of days, and then we'll have a couple of practices Friday and get back after.
Now his concern is turkey overdose.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what you got to worry about now.
Do you, from a coaching perspective, when they, there are times certainly where they need to get away from it, but do you get this early in the year, man, I don't know if this is a good time to have a break for them to get away from it?
That's all. I beat myself up all day yesterday, this morning. That's all I thought about. Man, I give them way too big of a break this early. But it's important when your team, they're still really, really well gelled together. And so it's important for them to get a break, because there's so many guys feeling a pain here or there. So I do think it's important. And Xavier, so we had our big parents' weekend. I think it's no secret why Xavier finally came out of his slump. He got to be with his family. His brothers were in town. So there's a big important piece of this, especially at this level, that these guys still get to be home for Thanksgiving and be with their families.
And I firmly believe in the healing power of turkey.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
No doubt about it.
Run a little gravy IV really will get you going.
Why do we only have that turkey once a year? I mean, we have turkey sandwiches, turkey subs, but the big old turkey we have like once a year. By the way, for those who don't know, because you give the first name for your players, Xavier's last name, so people can get familiar with these names.
Xavier Williams and Phil Dotson are two guys we've been talking about.
Okay, we're going to talk about this weekend's games. You got 2 more games at home over at Mallory, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Are you a golfer, by the way?
I'm not. I've done it. I'm terrible. I'm just the world's worst golfer.
Well, maybe if you go to Meadowbrook Country Club.
World's worst.
Hey, listen, there's a lot of competition out there for that title. I'll tell you that much.
I'm at the bottom of the barrel, I promise.
Maybe as you get older and the hair starts to turn gray,
there's no way you're the worst.
You're an athlete, and you know what? Here's the thing with golf. You can play it until you're 100 years old, and you can play over at Meadowbrook Country Club, 1250 West Broadway in West Memphis, Arkansas, open Tuesday through Saturday, and now, actually, Tuesday through Sunday. But Private Country Club is now semi-private. They established themselves in 1959, right? 59 until 2023, they were a private country club. But now semi-private, meaning you can make it your daily fee course at just $59 plus tax. That includes cart. You can play a challenging layout, Bermuda greens, tough challenge at Meadowbrook Country Club. Again, 1250 West Broadway in West Memphis, Arkansas. It is just about 15 minutes from Midtown or downtown. Really an easy trip from anywhere in the tri-state area. Call 870-394-4186 to make your tee time. 870-394-4186. Talk to Pro Mark Bartlett. He'll get your tee time down. He can also give you lessons. He can fit you for Shrixon clubs. He does it all at Meadowbrook Country Club. And if you want to become a member of the country club, you can do that as well. $350 per month, includes golf and tennis, pickleball, great swimming pool, restaurant, and bar. Meadowbrook Country Club, 1250 West Broadway in West Memphis, Arkansas. Again, call them at 870-394-4186. Make your tee time today. Okay, so you just played the Rhodes Classic at home. Now you got some more home cooking this weekend. You're playing Webster on Saturday at 1 o'clock. And then you have Washington University at 3. Now, I've heard of Washington for years and years.
Always the St. Louis portion of your schedule.
Yes, it is.
They always are great in whatever sport it is. So how good are they in basketball, and what about the challenges this weekend?
WashU is number 1 in the country.
There you go.
So there you go. That tells you where they are. All the power rankings. I mean, they've had an unbelievable start, and they're doing great. They're a great team. Pat, the head coach, and I have become really good friends, and so we actually have started a 4-year series with WashU. Next year, we actually host again an all-academic event with WashU and Chicago, University of Chicago, Colorado College. So it's a great partner of ours. I tell people all the time, when I took this job, WashU was a program that we really looked up to, a program that we strive to try to be like. And so, we're a long way away from it, but we're really excited about the opportunity and the challenge ahead of us to play them on Sunday.
I was going to say, by the way, WashU versus Rhodes would be a hell of a quiz bowl matchup as well.
Unbelievable.
There would be some brain power in that room.
We need to get with the courtroom, the mock trial going with them.
Well, it's pretty obvious with having already played Colorado College on the road, playing WashU. I'm not real familiar with Webster, but it looks like you want to play the best to become the best.
We do, and that's the whole thing. Our point this year was to step up the schedule. We wanted to get up. We got to get our strength of schedule up. In order to get our power ranking up, we had to get our strength of schedule up. And so we wanted to play that. We're going out to Vegas in the biggest D3 Classic there is out there, hosted by D3 Hoops. And so you go out there to play real competition, and that's what you want. You want to get, and we got to get better for the league. We finished second in the league. If we want to compete for that top spot, we got to get better now and be ready for league play.
When's the Vegas tournament?
That's December 28th and 30th. We play out there.
So a holiday tournament.
Yep.
That they're having.
What about Webster University? What's the scouting report on them?
Well, they're 1-2 right now. They're a young team like us. They're a really young team, but look, they're really athletic, a really good basketball team, and we're not overlooking Webster at all. Looking at WashU, and I don't do that. I'll be honest with you. I've only watched maybe 3 or 4 minutes of WashU. I've only focused on Webster right now because they are a very good basketball team that we have to be ready for.
It's tough. They got a 4'2" center, Webster.
This is when I was in St. Louis, I used to work right next to Webster University.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, so that's another St. Louis. Okay, so a couple from St. Louis that you'll be playing this weekend. Do you expect to have anybody back from the injury list for this weekend?
Yeah, I think Nick Lewis will be back by Saturday. Jonathan Prang is still probably 4 weeks out on the shoulder injury. We get Elijah White back next month. So really we'll get one more back this weekend with Nick Lewis, who's a freshman. But, you did the great golf promo. We need to get Jonathan Prang out there. He's a golfer now.
Oh, is he?
That young man is a golfer.
Put him up against Savoy over here. We'll have the big battle.
Don't be throwing me into the lion's den.
Well, you got to represent us. It's not going to be me. So it's Webster and Rhodes this Saturday at 1 o'clock. And then at 3 o'clock on Sunday, a big battle against number 1 Washington University. Another challenge for the Rhodes Lynx. Zoe, as always, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you. We'll talk to you next week.
Happy Thanksgiving to you all, and happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Thank you.
That is Zoe Goodson. That's our Rhodes segment. We do it each and every Tuesday. You can follow Coach on Twitter at Zoe Goodson. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing with different plans to choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month same-as-cash option. If you have a roofing problem right now with the rain we've had the last few days, you know you have a problem, right? Because your house is soaked. You need to get that roof taken care of, and they'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They'll also work with your insurance company or out of pocket, whatever it takes to get that roof fixed or to get the new roof. They do residential and commercial roofing. So business owners, property managers, obviously homeowners. Call Brandon today. They are a member of the Better Business Bureau. They are licensed, bonded, and insured. 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work is satisfaction guaranteed, including carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, install shingles, and put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair, whatever you can't do yourself. If you're not a handyman, which I am not, I call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Quality work at a very reasonable price. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Again, for all your roofing and home repair needs, call Brandon. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings. 901-438-5084 or online at newroofmemphis.com. When we come back, college football talk with Blake Topmeyer, and we'll give you the big breaking story once again in case you missed it about the Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium renovations. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Roofs, roofs, and more roofs. Chris Price here with Metro Builders. Is your roof leaking? Do you have mold stains on the ceiling of your home or business? Is your carrier denying your claim or offering a repair simply because they don't have enough documentation? You need a contractor that performs work for insurance claims for policyholders each and every day, and Metro Builders is here to assist. Call Metro Builders. At Metro Builders, we provide free estimates, consultation, and claim repairs. Metro Builders' process of arriving, inspecting, diagnosing problems, and estimating is second to none, commercial and residential. Our team of Hague-certified technicians are standing by to assist you with providing estimates and photos to your carrier to document your loss. All you owe is what your policy states. No large fees on top of the final scope. We use high-grade materials and are certified by companies like Atlas, CertainTeed, Owens Corning, and Mulehide with labor warranties up to 50 years on all of our jobs. Metro Builders provides roof repairs across the Mid-South. Call Metro Builders to schedule your inspection free. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717.
Let's end this year with a bang with Gossett Mitsubishi's Mitsubishi Motors year-end sales event. You want huge savings? We Gossett. The awards keep coming for the world's first and best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV, 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, 420 total range and PGE. We Gossett at $299.96 a month. Plus, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, buy for $26,850 or $379 a month. Plus, IIHS top safety pick in seat 7, 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $32,185 or $399 a month. All equipped with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want it, we Gossett. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike or 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
PHEV PZ062,303 MSRP 44,355, 84 months, 500 military and conquest or loyalty rebate. Outlander RZ 06545 MSRP 33,185. Sport RU 001,004 MSRP 27,850. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey Brent, love the color. If you had to choose, would you watch paint dry or compare benefits plans?
Compare benefits plans, obviously.
But you know how complicated benefits are, right?
Well, I run payroll with Gusto. Gusto makes it easy to find benefits like medical, dental, and vision for my whole team.
Whoa! Oh, sorry. I'm gonna need new glasses.
Don't worry, you're covered.
Choose benefits without the mess. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
A 3-carat lab-grown diamond for just $599? A 2-carat lab-grown for only $299? A 1-carat lab-grown diamond for just $99? It's not a mistake. It's Genesis Diamond's unbelievable lab-grown Black Friday sale. That's right. This weekend, Genesis is offering deals absolutely no one can touch. So you can put the ring of her dreams on her finger and get the deal of your dreams at the same time. Other stores are charging $10,000 for 3-carat lab-grown diamonds. But at Genesis, it's just $599. Their 2-carat lab-grown diamonds are over $4,000, but the Genesis price is just $299, and their 1-carat lab-growns are $1,500. But you can get a 1-carat lab-grown at Genesis for just $99. This offer is not too good to be true, but it is limited to the first 150 customers with the purchase of one of Genesis' exclusive settings. Imagine proposing to the love of your life with a stunning 3-carat certified lab-grown diamond, any shape, showcased in a one-of-a-kind setting. Don't miss Genesis Diamond's lab-grown Black Friday event this weekend, including Sunday, on Poplar at Perkins Extended. See store for details.
Memphis music legends, the Barkays, will be at this year's AutoZone Liberty Bowl, and you'll want to be there too. The Barkays will be performing the music that made Memphis at the President's Gala on December 28th at the Peabody, and at halftime of the 65th AutoZone Liberty Bowl game on December 29th.
Everybody say, so big up.
Get your tickets today by calling the AutoZone Liberty Bowl at 795-7700. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Get them to sign on the line which is dotted.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Gonna put the world away for a minute.
This hour is brought to you by Acura Memphis. Ridgeway and 385 is where you'll find them. Of course, during the holidays, always great deals you could find at the different car dealerships. And Acura, of course, Memphis is no different. Always a great car buying experience. And check them out this holiday season. Of course, it'll be a great gift. If you're wanting to get the gift, I'm sure they'll even get the big bow to throw on top of there as well.
You need the big bow.
There's no doubt about that. Acura Memphis, again, Ridgeway 385, online, AcuraofMemphis.com. From new vehicles to the pre-owned vehicles, certified pre-owned Acuras. You'll find them all at Acura of Memphis. Again, in case you missed it, earlier this morning, just a little, about, 30 minutes ago or so, the Daily Memphian with the article, Fred Smith, the Smith family, has donated $50 million to be put towards the renovations of Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. The university will also put up a matching $50 million. They will also then get $120 million of the state money. So that gives them their $220 million that they need. And then the Grizzlies will have the remaining $230 million of the state money plus some other money as they try to get all of that thing settled. No deal done yet, long-term deal with the Grizzlies and the city, but working towards that. And there is mention in the story that also the university could take over control of Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium.
Yeah, great news all around for the University of Memphis, for the city of Memphis as well. Well, time now to talk some college football. We do it every other week with Blake Topmeyer. He's the SEC columnist for the USA Today Network. You can follow him on Twitter at @BTopmeyer. We'll talk some SEC. We'll talk some national football, national college football. And, of course, Blake, tonight, the latest college football playoff rankings. First of all, thank you for joining us. Good morning to you. Do you expect any changes at the top of the list tonight?
Yeah, I think Washington climbs at least one spot when you combine their road win at Oregon State and the injury to Jordan Travis, the season-ending injury to Florida State's quarterback. I think they at least move Washington up to number 4, and wouldn't be totally shocked if, given Michigan's probably closer than expected win against Maryland, combined with Michigan's shaky strength of schedule, if Washington is all the way up to number 3. Of course, it doesn't really matter because Michigan plays Ohio State this weekend in an elimination game for Michigan. If Michigan wins, they'd probably be back up to the spot that we're at anyway. If they lose, they're probably out. And that doesn't really change regardless of what they do with Washington. So, but no, I do expect Washington to climb at least one spot. And if we're basing this off resume, there's really no denying that they should be a top 3 team. Probably should have been a top 3 team all along based on what they've accomplished. And we know this committee loves the eye test so much. However, in this case, I think they need to put the eye test aside and give some credit to a team that goes out there and beats pretty good teams with regularity, and they did it again on the road at Oregon State.
You mentioned the Jordan Travis injury, which they say they're not there to consider that. They're not projecting. They are judging by what has been accomplished so far. Certainly, though, it has to be in the conversation. You can't just ignore this thing. Are you of the belief that if Florida State wins against Florida, wins the ACC championship game, that no matter how they do it, whether they're both close games or whatever, that if they get there undefeated, they will be in no matter what?
I think they would be, yes. The difficult one, I guess, would be is if Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship. That's where it gets complicated. But I don't see how the committee could, in good conscience, keep out an undefeated conference champion. And if they win 2 games without Jordan Travis, they would have some data points that say, Florida State can still win without him. Now, one would come against a Florida team that's, pretty mediocre team, 5-6, what have you. But the other would come against Louisville in the ACC championship. And so if they were to beat a top 10 Louisville team without Jordan Travis, I mean, to me, that's enough of a data point to say, hey, this team's undefeated, they're a conference champion, and they beat a top 10 team with their backup quarterback. So, would they be as dangerous, without Jordan Travis as they were with him? Certainly not. But if they can beat Louisville without him, I think that would be enough to get them into the playoff. It actually, it's kind of beneficial, I think, to Florida State that they do have that ACC championship against a top 10 team. It would be easier beating a weaker opponent in the conference champion. But if there's any doubt in the committee's mind about whether they should put an undefeated Seminoles team in the playoff, I think that's where beating Louisville, would be enough to get them over the hump and get them in.
All right, you brought up Georgia and Alabama and what chaos could pursue or could come from that, I should say, if Alabama can knock off Georgia. First of all, obviously Alabama has to beat Auburn, which they will, and Georgia has to beat Georgia Tech. But the way Alabama's played the last month, do you give them a chance to knock off Georgia? And if they do knock off Georgia, Is Georgia going to have a strong enough resume with the lack of really non-conference powers that were missing from their schedule? Would it still be good enough with their resume to be able to get in as a one-loss team if things fell to a one-loss team to get into the playoff?
Yeah, so the first question with Alabama, the possibility of them beating Georgia, I would call it maybe like 2 or 3 times out of 10. So
Okay.
I mean that's enough to consider it. And the backside of that is like their resume, Georgia's resume with a loss to Alabama. I don't know if their resume would be enough to get them in. However, again, this committee, to me, it's a frustrating committee, but I don't want to get on that whole soapbox. This committee doesn't seem to care about resume that much. They care about your record, and they care about how you look. Consistently, they've really kind of ignored strength of schedule in their rankings. The only thing they did was keep Ohio State at number 1 for a couple weeks. That was the only thing really that favored resume. Everything else has been about record and eye test. And so we know Georgia's looked very good on the eye test in recent weeks. They've got a couple good wins now, beating Ole Miss and beating Missouri. And so if they looked easy on the eyes in defeat to Alabama, I still think the committee would try really hard to find a way to get Georgia in, even though they don't have that strength of schedule like an Ohio State has, like a Washington has. Again, the fact that Washington was ranked where they were all along tells me this committee doesn't really care about resume. They care about how you look on the eyes. And the fact that they have Georgia number 1 right now, Georgia will be number 1 again, I think almost certainly tonight. They'll be number 1 still. I would think going into the SEC championship. The only thing that could change that is if Ohio State beats Michigan, maybe Georgia slips to number 2 going to the conference championship. But either way, I think Georgia's 1 or 2 going into the conference championship. So, yeah, I think the committee would really want to find a way for them in. I just think Texas is the complicating factor. With Texas having that head-to-head over Alabama in Alabama's home stadium, I think that's the kicker. I think if that win had occurred in Austin, the committee might be able to say, well, that was a road loss for Alabama. They're probably the better team. But it would be really hard for the committee to totally ignore the head-to-head between Texas and Alabama. So if Texas wins the Big 12 championship at 12-1, they really become a huge roadblock, because then how do you give Alabama the last spot over Texas?
Right.
I don't know if you can. And then if you can't put Alabama in, how do you put Georgia in if they just lose to Alabama? So, again, I think Texas has to lose to clear up some of these situations for the committee. Otherwise, they may feel like they have no choice but to bump Georgia out and bump Alabama out maybe. And that's the doomsday scenario for the SEC. It's undefeated Big Ten, undefeated Florida State, undefeated Washington, and Texas is 12-1 and your Big 12 champion. That's your doomsday scenario for Greg Sankey.
Which would be, it's just crazy to think the conference who has dominated the playoff could possibly be left out altogether. All the other conferences would celebrate like, hey, we got a chance to win the thing now.
Yeah,
finally.
Blake's scenario, the doomsday scenario, sounds correct. I can't argue with it yet. It's just, like you said, Eli, it's hard for me to fathom this league not having a team in the playoff. They've always had a team in the playoff.
Well, it would be a test, guys, if what the committee says is true. They look at things through this year's lens and not a historical lens. By the way, I don't believe that, and I don't know if it's fair to even expect that. Like in your subconscious, I just don't buy that you can shut off what you guys are talking about. The fact that the SEC has dominated this format for 9 years, and quite frankly dominated the BCS before that. I don't know that you can shut your subconscious off to that. But if they are able to do that somehow and just look at it through this year's lens, guys, I don't think the SEC is very good this year. I think they got 2 really good teams at the top in Georgia and Alabama, and then I think they got probably 3 teams behind that, the guys that are ranked, that are solid teams in LSU, Ole Miss, and Missouri. And then after that, I think it's pretty bleak in this conference. We just saw Auburn lose. They got whipped at home by New Mexico State. And I know New Mexico State's a solid Group of 5 team, but in past iterations of the SEC, that's a slam dunk victory. We look at the number of teams that might miss bowl games. Unless Florida, Florida, South Carolina, or Mississippi State score an upset this week, those three teams are out of bowls, joining a list of Arkansas and Vanderbilt. It'll be 5 teams missing bowl games. And then we got some other mediocre teams thrown in there too, like Kentucky, Auburn, Tennessee, even to Texas A&M. I agree. And these data points outside the conference, when an SEC team has played a good non-conference opponent this year, they've usually lost. And so, the league, I think history will play in the mind of the committee, but it will be a test of, is it really about what's happened this year? Because this year, Georgia's been dominant, Alabama's been pretty good, and the argument for the SEC kind of falls apart after that.
So who do you like in the Michigan-Ohio State game?
I kind of like Ohio State, and I although ask me again tomorrow, I might have a different answer. I've been flip-flopping on this. Coming into the season, I said I would have had Ohio State ranked as my preseason number 1. Now, I quickly backpedaled off that when I saw what they looked like, right? But they kept winning, and they got some good victories, and I think they have gotten better as the season's gone along. I think they have probably the best collection of talent this side of Georgia. And I wonder, though, too, if Michigan's maybe going to be kind of running on fumes at this point. Now, the alternative to that is it's this us against the world thing, and the whole Harbaugh NCAA saga continues to be a motivating factor. Maybe that happens, but the emotional strain of all of that, the last several weeks, and, this is self-induced, right? I'm not saying it's self-induced by the players, but it's self-induced by the program. This isn't a cry for sympathy, but there does come emotional strain from that, whether you caused it or not. I wonder if Michigan starts to be running on fumes at this point, and they're playing against one of the best teams in the country. I know Ohio State doesn't always win pretty, but you look at their average margin of victory, and teams aren't scoring on them, and they got some real weapons on offense. I think Kyle McCord's getting better. So it's without much confidence that I say I'm picking an Ohio State upset this week.
As you won't be with us next week. If the Washington-Oregon rematch, if that is what we do get, do you like Washington to beat them again?
I like Oregon, but maybe not as strongly as I think the general populace does. Like, everybody's fallen in love with Oregon, and again, all Washington does is keep going out there every Saturday and beating good teams. And I know they had their 2 bad performances in back-to-back weeks after the Oregon game, beating 2 of the weaker teams in the Pac-12 by closer than expected margins. But Washington kind of feels like this year's TCU in that they're a good team, but they're also, I don't know if you want to say really good or really fortunate, or a combination of both in those late game situations. But I think overall Oregon is the more talented, better team. The old cliche that it's hard to beat a team twice. The first game occurred in Seattle, so now we're moving to a neutral site. I think I would take Oregon in the rematch, but it almost seems like in the general populace is like penciling Oregon into the playoff, because everybody's assuming Oregon would win the rematch. I don't assume that, but I do think if I had to pick it, I would pick Oregon.
All right, final thing for you. We haven't spoken to you since Zach Arnett was let go, since Jimbo Fisher was let go, and Hunter Yurachek told Sam Pittman he's returning to Arkansas. Who are you hearing as possible replacements, if anybody, for those 2 jobs? And then what do you think about Pittman being retained?
Yeah, I'll start with Pittman. I think this makes financial sense, which we don't see happen a lot in college athletics because of that unique clause in his contract. Whereas if his record since 2021 would drop below 500 next year, they could fire him at a discount. So it's almost a win-win for Arkansas, I guess I would say. Either he turns it around next year and you don't have to think about firing him, or it keeps going down the path that it went this year and you get to fire him at a discount. Now, that would feel like a wasted season next season. And the old Jeremy Foley quote, the Florida AD, would be, what must be done eventually should be done immediately. That's what Jeremy Foley likes to say. However, I don't know if he had this unique contract in mind when he said that. So I don't mind the idea to give Pittman one more go because of the contract clause. For Mississippi State, you know, I wrote after that happened that I thought Mississippi State's first call should be to Dan Mullen, and I think that is true. That's probably where its first call should have been. I don't think Mississippi State will go down that road. I don't think Dan Mullen would go down that road. I think best case scenario for Mississippi State is to try to find the next Dan Mullen, someone who needs to prove themselves at a Power 5 head coaching job, and maybe, quite frankly, can use it as a springboard to something higher up the ladder. I know Mississippi State fans don't want to consider that reality, but I would lean into it. Use it as a sales pitch that, hey, if you can come and win in the SEC at Mississippi State for several years, you can then call your next shot and go wherever you want, basically. You can go to Florida, you can go to Texas, wherever you want. Come and do it at Mississippi State for a few years, prove yourself. Who would be that type of guy? I think Jamie Chadwell at Liberty. He's won everywhere he's been. He's never worked at the Power 5 level before, but he's got it, you know, humming on the heels of Hugh Freeze at Liberty. He did it for several years at Coastal Carolina and lower levels before that. He's really good at X's and O's. I think he's good at evaluating and developing talent. All those types of things that I think you need to succeed at Mississippi State. He's got him. He doesn't check every box because he doesn't have that Power 5 experience, but I don't know that Mississippi State can get a guy that checks all the boxes. He checks a lot of them. I'd go really hard after Jamie Chadwell. And then Texas A&M, I think some of the dream candidates are going to fall away, right? Like as long as Dan Lanning or Kalen DeBoer from Washington are in the playoff hunt, unless they would just up and pull a Brian Kelly, like you can't get those guys. They're not going to walk away while they're still on playoff teams. So I could see this job falling to like a Mike Elko, who was there before at Duke, or a Lance Leipold from Kansas, Chris Kleiman from Kansas State. You know, good program guys at Power 5 programs where Texas A&M is clearly a jump. But I would say, I mean, Lane Kiffin's still kind of the X factor out there. I think Lane probably feels like he's butting up against his ceiling at Ole Miss. I think he could consider Texas A&M. Would Texas A&M consider him? I don't know. I think they'd be kind of foolish not to. However, Lane is one of those guys you can't really control. You got to take. If you're going to take Lane, you got to take all that comes with him. Ole Miss does that and does it with a smile. Not everywhere would do that. That might be an issue with Texas A&M.
Well, you are certainly not off base. Blake stirring the pot here for our Ole Miss listeners. He is Blake Topmeyer, SEC columnist for USA Today Network. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at @BTopmeyer. We'll talk to you again in a couple of weeks. We'll know a lot more. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Blake, and as always, we appreciate it.
Okay, sounds good. You too, guys.
Take care.
Folks, if you've got a move coming up, you know that can be a stressful time. You want to make sure that you get people to help you that are going to be the best of the business and take care of your belongings and make sure that everything goes as smooth as possible. That's exactly what the folks at Black Tie Moving will do for you. Whether you're moving across town, whether you're moving across country, wherever it is that you're headed, maybe it's you're moving to a new home, maybe it's a new office. Folks at Black Tie Moving are there to help you. Give them a call at 901-316-6196, 901-316-6196, or you can go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk with the folks at Black Tie Moving. They come up with a plan by working with you that fits your needs and your budget. They give you a no obligation quote up front as well. They're going to make sure everything is as smooth as it could possibly be with your move. That's exactly what you get with the professionals from Black Tie Moving.
All right, we're coming back. Final segment. More on this Simmons Bank, Liberty Stadium, FedEx deal with quotes from all the principals in this one. That to wrap it up and call it a day and then hand things over to Dave Woloshin for Wolo and Friends. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
All 36-month lease, $650 acquisition fee. Must finance through Hyundai. Forte LXS PE 694,095 MSRP 21,610. Sportage R722 7239 MSRP 28,715. EVP 560 3393 MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 11/30/2023 with approved credit. Dealer.com.
Got Jeff Allen here from Gossett Kia, South Mount Moriah. Hey, Jeff, you ready for the holidays with the season of giving back?
I'm ready to give out some great holiday gifts and save you some big bucks. Perfect for the holiday road trips. 41 MPG Highway in a new 2023 Kia Forte LXS $229 a month. $27.99 due at signing. Or a big family that needs more room? 2024 Kia Sportage LX with class-leading cargo room and rear seat leg room. $299 a month. $34.99 due at signing.
What about an EV?
2023 Kia EV6 Wind 134 City 101 Highway MPGE $379 a month. $49.99 due at signing. All 36-month lease.
Plus a free charger with your EV purchase and Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
The way they live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Fall is in the air, and so are Choate's Early Bird Specials. Right now, receive $1,000 off the purchase of a new Carrier gas furnace. Carrier furnaces come with some of the best warranties in the industry, and Choate's has been professionally installing them for over 60 years. As a Carrier factory authorized dealer, Choate's also offers competitive financing solutions for you and your family. If your heating system is in good shape, make sure you take advantage of Choate's Early Bird Tune-Up Special for $60. This tune-up is an in-depth 20-point inspection to make sure your furnace is ready for the winter season ahead. So call 347-8086 to schedule your Early Bird Special today. And turn to the experts with Choate's and let our family serve your family.
Here at Memphis Barbecue Supply, we have everything you need for your Thanksgiving feast. If you're smoking, deep frying, or putting that turkey in the oven, we got over 20 different turkey injections and brines to keep your meat juicy and moist, with brine bags and buckets, and 308 different rubs and sauces to choose from. If you're in need of fuel, Memphis Barbecue Supply carries 9 different types of wood chip, chunk, mini logs, and logs of wood, and over 4 tons of wood pellets in stock. And don't worry, we also carry thermometers, injectors, and all other sorts of gadgets that you might need to simplify your cook. And for any questions that you might have, our knowledgeable staff is always eager to help. Memphis Barbecue Supply is located at 7041 Stage Road in Memphis, or you can order online at mbbqsupply.com. Follow us on all the social media platforms for recipes, new products, and barbecue news.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Grease lightning.
Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
So once again, if you haven't heard the breaking news today, the Frederick W. Smith family, headed of course by the executive chairman of FedEx, Fred Smith, has committed $50 million to the University of Memphis for renovations to Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. That becomes the largest gift in university history. Additionally, a Memphis city councilman has introduced a resolution to allocate and appropriate $120 million in state grant funding to go towards renovations of the stadium, as well as transfer ownership of the stadium to the University of Memphis Auxiliary Services Foundation. Memphis Athletics will be launching a $50 million capital campaign to match the Smiths family's significant commitment to the university. So you add it all up, that's $220 million. And even while they're doing that capital campaign, Eli, I would assume that they have enough money to get the thing rolling right after the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. So it looks like the plans will be right on the date line that they expect.
I told you that.
I know, I'm just reiterating it for people that...
You don't ever have to worry about those things. They always happen.
Yeah, I'm just reiterating for people who haven't heard. Here are some comments, including the outgoing mayor, Jim Strickland, who has been so important in this whole thing. As a Tiger fan and University of Memphis graduate, I could not be happier that we were able to make this happen. With these renovations, the stadium will receive much-needed upgrades. This puts the university in excellent position as they continue to work towards entrance into a Power 5 conference. Thanks to the state of Tennessee for its contribution. Thanks to both the University of Memphis and Grizzlies teams for their cooperation as we have worked through this process. Again, it's interesting that, you still have to go through Grizzlies with a bunch of things, but they are part of the allocation from the state money, as we still don't have finality on what's going to happen with FedEx Forum and the money allocated for that. But I would imagine it's going to come sooner than later.
Yeah, again, I just, if you do the math kind of from the original ask, and again, there's still things to be worked out, but that would leave from the original asking thing, including the state money and the other stuff, it would be about $563 million. And again, I know the Grizzlies, one of the numbers they've been trying to work towards was $550 million.
President of the University of Memphis, Dr. Bill Hargrave, we truly appreciate the Smith family for recognizing the strength of our university and athletic programs and wanting to help to continue our momentum for the betterment of our entire city. We are grateful for the leadership of Mayor Jim Strickland and the city of Memphis in securing state funding for our city's sports venues, and we appreciate the city's ongoing partnership as we navigate this potential game-changing opportunity for our university. Dave Woloshin, I'm sure we'll have more on this breaking news. That's going to do it for us. In fact, that will do it for you for the week as you're headed to Philadelphia with the Ole Miss basketball team. Hey, don't burn down the city before I get there on Thursday, all right?
I will try not to.
Try not to. I know
I'm just trying to get a cheesesteak.
Yeah, you're going to get in trouble.
I apparently have to try 7 different places in one day.
I know you're getting in trouble. Eat, baby. Eat like there's no tomorrow. Speaking of eating, hot wings, we are... I don't know if we're the hot wing capital, but we're way, way up there. And one of the great hot wing joints in this city is the Crazy Coop. 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten, and the Crazy Coop Express, now open at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar. What makes the Crazy Coop's hot wings the best? The seasonings. 27 different seasonings to choose from, including the sweet maple bourbon. The taste will remind you of chicken and waffles. That's just one of those 27 flavors. Pick up a Crazy Pack today. You can have them cater an event. You can call up, order online, pick it up yourself, or have any of the services delivered to your home or office. They're open 11 to 9, 7 days a week for those great whole wings, party wings, boneless wings, and chicken tenders, plus those other great meals that you can get at their Bartlett location, including catfish sandwiches, half-pound burgers, and all the great sides like fried okra, green tomatoes, and dill pickles. It's the Crazy Coop. That's 7199 Highway 64 between Appling and Kirby Whitten. That's in Bartlett. And the Crazy Coop Express at 1315 Ridgeway off Poplar.
I think Buffalo still gets the wing capital.
Yeah, I guess so. But maybe a little overrated. Just because you found the play, maybe it's not the best, just because they're known for it. We want to thank Jonah Dillon, Jeff Crane, Zoe Goodson, Blake Topmeyer for joining us today. And, of course, a shout-out to you folks. Thank you for listening. Thanks for all your calls, all your texts. We really appreciate it. I will be back tomorrow with Zach. Among our guests, Ryan Silverfield, Tigers football coach, will join us tomorrow. We're also hoping to talk to Andy Borman in the Bahamas, Memphis Tigers assistant coach, plus the Grizzlies with DeMichael Cole, Jerry Palm, and don't forget 5 favorite things, your 5 favorite places in Memphis to get a sub or a deli sandwich. Well done, friends, on Sports 56 is next. For Eli and Zach, I'm Greg. Have a great day, everyone.